Tune into this. Turn on the cam, I am the fist. Turn on the switch, listen to Strick, yeah. Know if we swinging, there's never a miss. Don't follow a script, yeah. Topics change quick. Looking for facts, looking for tips. One's an enforcer, one's a reporter. Together we Cam and Strick, yeah.
Welcome into the Cam and Strick podcast, episode number
337. Yeah, let's go. Let's go. Flooding happening all over the place. Little shout out to Eureka. I know you guys are sandbagging down in my hometown, baby. I might have to go out there and help out like I did the last time it got goddamn flooded. Big deal right now in Missouri. Lots of floods going on, baby.
You know,
lots of floods.
Nothing about the flood of 93.
Yes, I do, man. A guy fucked up too, by the way. Some hillbilly boy in 93 didn't want to work. So he goes in one of these levees and he dug into it and he fucking caused chaotic freaking flood. And one guy went to jail for it too.
Why did he start digging into?
Because he didn't want to go to work.
What does that mean?
He didn't want to go to work. So if he knows it floods everything, he's not going to have to work. So he digs out this levee.
Really?
Yes, he digs out this levee in 93, dude, and got caught.
They could prove that's what he was doing?
And he went to jail.
You have a name behind this one?
No, man. I mean, no.
I haven't heard about it. This is urban legend.
You don't hear about anything because you don't know about anything,
There was
Andy.
a lot of rain, though, this past weekend. I'll say this, though. I don't remember the last time that I remember it just raining consecutively as hard as it did.
Yes, it has. Yes, it has, dude.
It rained consecutively.
It's been,
very
2008
hard
was
for
worse.
a long time.
2008 was worse, dude. 2008, everybody got stuck in Eureka, man. Merrimack River flooded so goddamn bad. It was brutal. All those restaurants and businesses got flooded again, dude. So we're just thinking about you, man. All the people that are affected by the floods, tornadoes, all that stuff, man. We always give a shout out because we know how stressful and hardcore that is, man. Even if a tornado misses you, dude, you fucking stuck in your house, your electric doesn't work, all that shit, it costs you money. So we're just thinking about y'all, good baby.
I've been sandbagging before, too.
You haven't done anything for anybody.
That's a lot of work. Do you know that I was in Arizona one time on vacation?
Hey, listen, no, I got to cut you off. You can't do this many. You're one story a podcast. We have to do that.
Story time last week.
It's so god awful. No, it is. It's just one.
I'm not even trying.
Just one.
I'm not even
one
trying
story.
to tell
I'm
a story.
I love you. Dead serious on that. Andy's been the best dad and mom over the weekend. Lori's out of town, so he's busy and stuff like that. Now it's going to be story time.
Well, I did have to get up at 2 a.m. to pick him up from the airport because the plane got delayed.
So, anyway, it's been a long weekend for both of us.
So, I would say late 80s, early 90s, I was in Arizona on vacation, and they had the worst flood, one of the worst floods on record in USA history.
Okay.
And people were literally had canoes through the streets. There's no sewers there on the streets. You know there's no sewers there?
Yeah.
There's no sewers in Arizona, dude.
Okay.
So the rain, it just completely flooded the entire city, and I was sandbagging then too, man.
Cool, man. You're a hero, you know. We're at
look it up.
We are at Puck Cancer event all weekend, you know.
Second shift,
doing our thing. And I guess we'll get into that real quick because I want to give Chaser a shot. I don't know how he made it through the weekend, man. We had fantasy camp with the Blues. We had all these guys in town from all over the place, man. So many people showed up, from Garth Brooks to fucking all kinds of people. And there's some people that didn't show up because of the storms. Dirks Bentley couldn't make it because his flight couldn't get here because there's so many storms going on. So
Which is weird because Garth came from Nashville too.
I know. I don't know. Yeah, that's what I mean. His jet's better than Dirk's, dude. He's got fucking $500 million in his pocket, man. You never know. He probably flew all the way around that bitch. Who knows where Dirk came from?
Did John Elway make it in?
Nope, he didn't make it either.
Sean Payton.
But we're all playing. So anyway, like the draft night beforehand for the fantasy camp. We didn't know if Chaser was going to be able to get out of the hospital, like because there's a bed available. When you leave your bed in a hospital like that, there's kids and there's people that need that bed. So there's a waiting list too. So you can't leave your bed for that long.
So it's like if you give it up, dude, somebody else is going to come in and take it.
Exactly. So if you're gone, somebody's going to take your bed. So there's a lot of weird things that go on.
You're telling me there's cancer patients out there who can't get a bed.
Can't get a bed.
That's terrible, dude.
Yeah, I just maybe in certain hospitals and stuff like that. And then, I mean, that's everywhere.
Everybody should be able to get a bed.
Well, that's unrealistic at times, Andy. Like, there's not a perfect country like where you think Canada, you're going to be able to do it.
No, but
it's just no doubt we want to get there.
You know
but
what
it's
I mean?
Just not realistic.
I think the fact that some kids don't have a bed right now I don't like hearing that.
Yeah, well, it's reality, man. There's a lot of kids that are starving right now in Africa. There's this, there's that. I mean, there's a lot going on. But with this thing, I Chaser, man, I don't know how he gets the energy And we did the draft. We're at Hollywood Casino. All the guys were there, man. We're doing our thing. And Chaser shows up. He doesn't look great. He just doesn't look great. If you look at him, you could tell he's just fucking trying his hardest, man, to get around, to walk. He's walking with a fucking cane. He's 110 pounds. It's not good. And he's just trying his hardest to be available for everything that he set up. And he gets there, and he's walking up to the stage, and he falls on his fucking face, like, boom.
So I heard about this. Was he walking up steps to get on the stage?
No. I'm watching him the whole time. He's walking through. Wham.
What did he trip on?
I thought he had a heart attack. I didn't know what to think. I run over there like, good, come here. You okay? You okay? Boom, boom. Grab me. He tells me to go fuck myself. Like typical Chaser. Like, I got this. Don't treat me like I'm something else. I'm fucking Kelly Chase. And he grabs my arm. He gets up. And I look at Raylyn, his wife. He's like, just let him do it. I go, do we need a chair? I was in panic mode. And he gets up, shakes it off, walks on stage, fucking does the auction, does a draft, does everything, stops there, goes right back to the hospital to get all this shit done, man. I don't know how he did it. He's he's incredible, dude. And he brought so many people in. The whole fucking NHL, all the Blues showed up. They all showed up. Boom, night before a game. They all show up to show respect, man. They hung out for quite a while. They saw Jim Montgomery play, their coach, of course, who toe-picked into the goalie, which we're all like, we don't want him to get injured.
Yeah, but I said to him, I go,
we don't want him to get injured.
You'd rather be good at like 25 than 55.
You know what I mean? We need to protect him.
It's okay.
Braden Shin comes in the locker room and stares him down and goes, ah! And he quit after the first period. But the whole weekend was great. I was number one pick overall, of course. Like I told Andy, he never doesn't believe anything.
Well, you're not like Vinny the Cavalier or Rick Nash. It's not one of those situations. It's like
no, here. I'll explain it because you weren't there because you're not invited.
Explain how it goes. Like your buddy is
no. The cops. The cops wanted to draft me number one overall. So everybody goes, okay, $5,000 for the number one pick. Okay, $6,000, $7,000, $4,000, $10,000, $11,000, $12,000, $13,000, all the way up to $30,000.
Bidding on what? On who gets to pick number one?
Pick number one. Mm-hmm. And so they bid. There are a couple of big teams are bidding on each other, and they got the $30,000. And then the cops went up there and picked, and they picked me first overall. And
Phil said $20,000.
It was almost 30. I think it was like 26,000.
So good. So the money goes to
Siteman and all that stuff.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Good.
So it's pretty cool.
Cause.
I feel good when that happens.
Yeah.
And then I go out there and score 4 goals in the game.
You were getting chirped at the game the next day.
Sure. I was just in my group because I played 2 games.
You passed it on the empty netter.
To who?
Like Ovi would have.
Get out of here.
Ovi wouldn't have scored that.
I don't even know how Andy even got in the building. Andy never gives any. I scored 4 goals. My wife was there. Didn't see one of them. She was in the bathroom. She was talking to people. Didn't see one of my goals. So one thing I do miss is I wish my dad was there, man. Mm-hmm. He just got out of the hospital today. He's going to get to go home, which I'm really, really excited about, man. He's
feeling better.
Feeling a lot better. Everything's okay. He's still got a lot of work to do. But anyway, the whole event was fantastic. Some of the guys are so cool. I hung out with Bergie a lot. Mark Bergeron, who we just had on. Tyson Nash, hung out with him a long time. But they raised a ton of money, man. Garth Brooks, in the middle of the game, we're like... Middle of the game, a guy comes, like, didn't even look like Garth Brooks, actually. He walks on the ice while the game's playing, and he almost gets run over by, like, 3 guys. And Tim Peel was probably talking to everybody, doing this thing because he was reffing. And
it said Peel on the back of the jersey.
And no one even stopped it.
Most refs have the name on the back of the jersey or not?
I don't think so. I think they used to.
Did they used to? I was thinking
Andy Van Helmen and all those guys back in the day.
They had their name back on the jersey back in the day.
Yeah. But anyway, and Chaser he had to come, entertain everybody, organize everything, and then go back to the hospital, get treatment, then come back, get ready, go down, organize everything. I don't know how he did it, man.
So
but
he was at the game on Saturday.
And he was in the game. Yeah, I saw you on TV.
Yeah, we interviewed him on television
with Shaddy there and stuff.
Yeah, because I had Shaddy too.
Yep, Shaddy.
And I wanted to get Shaddy on, dude. And Shaddy actually,
he's so cool.
He read the lineups before the game. In the locker room, which he used to do.
Back in the day when you played.
When Hitch was a coach, he used to read the lineups all the time. But it was Monty who asked him to do it, and the coaches said, "Hey, you got to come do it." And Army asked him to. So
I saw BJ Crombie, my former teammate, man.
God.
I love him so much. He's so goddamn funny. He laughed at everything I did. I told you about BJ, man. He's got diabetes, dude. He'd be sticking his fucking fingers all day long, man, getting that blood out for the diabetes. He'd wake up in the middle of the night, crush a soda, eat a fucking Butterfinger in the middle of the night, you know, because he had to get his sugar levels all whacked out and shit. So it's just a tough gig, man, for having diabetes like he did. To be able to play professional sports like that.
It is. I mean, there's a couple other kids.
Love that,
You know,
man.
Max Domi goes through that.
Yep.
Luke Cunnin goes through that.
Lukey boy. Yeah.
So all these guys, man, warriors.
Cool.
I saw him. He does laugh at every joke. I used to always joke around with him and tell him that I was a better youth hockey player than him, and he'd be like, "I would fucking kill you," blah blah blah.
Of course he would.
So, and he was always taking classes. This guy was going to school while he was playing, and he's
smart man.
very professional.
Makes a
right now,
lot
too.
of money. Makes a lot of money.
I told him we're
going
gonna get him on one of these days.
Yeah, dude. Love him.
Yeah, he would fight a lot, man.
Shit, yeah, he got knocked out hard by Ronaldo
Oh,
when he
did
was in Tampa. Yeah, I remember that.
That was
But
towards the end.
He knocked out Dorsett one time.
He just never said
And-
no. He'd always fight, man.
I know. He'd have as many fights as I did.
Yeah, he would.
He'd have more. He'd play pretty much every game.
Mm-hmm.
Had a hell of a shot. He had a couple nice goals in that game too.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, bar down.
I didn't really pay attention to that. I mean, it's hard to watch the game, dude. It really is.
Yeah,
up
I
there.
get it. Is everybody
mean,
talking to you?
Well, it's like talkie the whole
I
night.
know.
You just can't, you just go from one person to the next. And then, like, I hate being in that position where you're talking to somebody and then somebody else comes up and, like, taps you on the shoulder and you turn around and you start talking and then that person walks away. You feel like an absolute jerk. You know what I mean? Like a fucking dick. Like you just, like you're being rude, dude. It's like, dude, I want to come back here. I want to talk. I don't even want to talk to the other person. I want to talk to you.
Yeah, after the game, I was so worn out because we had 2 games before that with a fantasy game, and then the big game.
And who won the whole thing?
Well, our team.
You
And-
did?
Yeah, and then that's what Chaser mad. The second time Chaser told me to fuck off.
Why?
Was
Was he back there on Sunday?
We played a team Saturday from Utah that spent a lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
One of Chaser's wealthy buddies from whatever. They sent the team down, spent a ton of money. Nicest guys in the world.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not allowed to score. I'm not allowed to score, so I have to set everybody up on the
Is
police.
that true? Like
Yeah.
whoever
The guys drafted aren't allowed to score. So fine, unless you're down by 2. And so, which I'm like, okay. But the police that I played on, all those guys are fucking cool and they're pretty damn good. And so we blew this team out of the water. But every time the goalie made a save, I'd go up to the other goalie and be like, good job, buddy, good job.
Mm-hmm.
Anytime anybody on that team did anything, I'd go, but hey, man, good job. I'm not mean on the ice.
Mm-hmm.
I pump everybody. I'm the only one that fucking gives out compliments to anybody. So Chaser heard about the score and he comes over and he grabs me. He's like, what the fuck, this guy? I go,
What's
whoa.
the score?
I think it was like 17-7. Just a lot of goals.
So you're supposed to let them win because they
No.
spent a lot of money? Is that
No, not really. But don't be a dick. Like some
like
guys
don't
are.
run the score up.
No, don't be a dick on the ice. The score's gonna get run up. We might gonna tell my police officer buddies that to
Right.
stop scoring.
Stop
I'm not doing it.
Yeah, just do it with class.
Yeah, these guys aren't chirping.
Be nice about
That's
it. Yeah,
Just be
yeah,
nice to everybody,
yeah,
dude.
yeah.
No one cares. Those guys don't even care. But he did get pissed at me. And I'm like, it's the last thing I want is Chaser be fucking mad at
my
me
God.
when he's going through all this stuff. He depends on me to be the guy
You're stressing him out. by
to
the
be
way.
happy guy.
You
Make
can't
sure-
be doing that.
I didn't do anything. That's the point. I was nice to everybody, and those guys. I went in their locker room, and I go, "Is everybody good?" They're like, "Yeah, that was great." Blah blah blah. I'm like, "Okay, good."
Mhm.
Chaser just had so much stress, and he yelled at me. Then he told Jim Campbell that he's going to take a stick and bash his head over with. Soupy's like, "Okay, man, it's all good." Just a lot of stress for him,
Oh
but it
my
all worked
God.
out, man. It all
Was
worked
Soupy
out.
on your team too?
Yeah. So funny, dude. We had anytime you get all these cats together, man, and we got such a beautiful locker room at Centene. We just partied and hung out and told stories, and god damn,
How late were you there on
love-
Saturday?
I was so tired afterwards, Andy. I get out of the shower, and all of a sudden, you walk outside, boom, people all over you. I have this thick-ass fucking shirt on. I'm sweating
He's
so
wearing
bad.
a flannel shirt.
I'm sweating
with
so
like
bad.
sweatpants.
I'm soaking wet. People are hugging on you. I'm just drenched. And so, like, I couldn't even, I was spitting dust. I couldn't even drink, man. I couldn't even get drunk.
Mhm.
I had nothing in my system. We stayed there pretty long, and then Kate and I took a couple of my next door neighbor back home, and
I met her.
We went to McDonald's.
I met her. The older lady.
Why do you say that? Did you? Andy goes up to my neighbor, who's a beautiful woman, Mindy and Todd,
No.
and they listen. No,
Wait,
shut up.
No.
And then Kate tells me that Andy goes up to this beautiful woman, and says, "Oh my God!" Kate and her are next to each other. Are you Kate's mom? Fucker, you, the
did-
self-awareness.
I didn't say
Yes,
that.
Kate told me you did.
I did.
You can't
I did
say
say
that.
I said
You-
exactly that.
That's Kate's fucking
I've
41
seen
years old.
I've seen pictures.
That means she's probably like fucking
Okay,
75,
I've seen
you
pictures
idiot.
of Kate's mom.
No.
She looks like Kate's mom.
No, man.
And I
She's
thought that
way
was her.
younger. She's way younger, you asshole. He has no idea he's being a fucking jackass. Maddie, it's unbelievable.
Dude, it
She
was
told me
it
that.
was
I go,
the right question. I think I said it
they look
twice,
alike.
actually.
They look alike.
They look
don't
alike.
I know. But it doesn't make sense. That means she would have had Kate at like 17.
So
you
she's
fucking
the
idiot.
older lady that lives next door.
She's
that-
not that old, you idiot. At least she speaks English.
They all do. And your other neighbors do.
oh,
too.
and your-
I'm
and your
kidding.
neighborhood?
No.
That's what I'm talking
They
about.
do not,
At least my
actually.
neighbors speak English. At least I
Okay.
could take my neighbors and bring them places and they're fun and da-da-da.
Yeah, I know.
You came and talked to your
No.
neighbors.
No, she was actually very
Making
nice.
curry
I,
all fucking day.
I kid when I say that
No,
you're,
no.
you don't look old at all, actually.
That's
but
so rude of
I think
you.
Cam described
That's-
you as that one time or something. I don't remember.
What'd you say?
Yeah, you were like my older neighbors or something.
You said that to you
She tells
son of a
me-
you. I don't want you anywhere near my
She
buddies.
tells me.
I don't want you. You shouldn't have been up there anyway.
She tells me that you said to her, like, you'll come out the next day and be like, "Did you hear me yelling last night or something?"
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because
Well-
make sure that she doesn't hear you. I'm like, oh God, it's so,
Oh my god,
so
my parents
embarrassing."
used to yell so bad, and the whole neighborhood heard it. And I'm like, oh god, I never want to do this. But the first night I kind of moved in, I couldn't find my kitty cat Boo Boo, and I was wasted.
Mm.
And I'm literally running around the yard in my robe. They know who I am, but they don't know me yet. And I'm like running around my robe like Boo, Boo, and I'm fine. And they're kind of listening. They're like on their patio listening,
Yeah.
and I'm like freaking out. And Boo was in one of the drawers that she snuck into, sleeping on my
Mhm.
clothes, and I actually closed it, didn't see her in there. So I was a little panic mode. So that wasn't a great first day in the neighborhood yelling in my robe,
Yeah.
probably with my dingling hanging
Like
out.
a
Who knows?
Hoosier.
You know, fucking Hoosier.
It was a fun event. I'm glad I went. I wasn't sure if I was. Gonna go
Everybody's
or
glad
not.
you went,
Well,
Andy.
because
You
it was,
did a great job.
It was raining so hard, dude.
Andy's trying to we're all signing autographs, taking pictures. Andy's like trying to come talk to me, and I'm getting people all
This
over.
kid's asking me.
Andy's like, let me sign your shirt. And the guys are like, okay. They're like, wait, no, I don't want you to sign my shirt because you're gonna fucking ruin it.
I
Like,
told the kid no.
no one asked you for it, but
kid.
Andy would go up to everybody that I'm signing for, and be like, hey, I'll sign that,
That's
and they're
not
like,
true.
okay.
Not
And then
true.
Andy signs it, and they're like,
Not
fucking
true.
waste time.
I
Ruined
signed
the
a
shirt.
lot of the kids who are getting their jerseys signed by the players outside the room during the games because our studio is right there, and they'll ask me to sign it, and I'll be like,
No, they didn't.
No, they do.
No, they didn't.
These kids,
No
dude,
one
there's a
asked you
million
fucking
kids hanging
anything.
out there every game.
No one
dude.
asked you anything. It's all good.
Oh,
God, you're such a fucking bullshitter. How about our new sponsor?
Oh yeah, well the
let's
jersey
show this real
generator.
quick. Look at this bad boy right
Let's
here.
see what they made for
Let's
us.
see what we got
He sent
here.
us these jerseys, never been opened. I just opened the main package so we
man.
can open it quickly here. This is from the Jersey Generator. So if you have a men's league team or you just want your own individual jersey, if you own a business, you want to have a hockey jersey made
Yep.
for it, dude, they do custom jerseys. Nobody does it better. Nobody does it quicker. This guy Mark is a entrepreneur from
Young
Canada,
kid.
from Montreal,
Awesome. Yep.
who's doing big things right now in Quebec
Yes.
and throughout North America. You can too. So let me see. This one's mine because I would be number 9, right? So
Is that your number?
that was always my
What's
number.
Andy's number?
Oh yeah. So this is from the Jersey Generator.
Let's open them up.
So
Show
you
everybody. Check
open
this
that
bad
one.
boy out right quick. Let's
Yeah.
go.
So
So I'm sick of this. Yeah, we got to change up these jerseys.
well, we had to change them up.
Let's look at these.
What
bad-
size is yours? Yours might-
Probably triple XL because I'm jacked. Oh, god dang, boy.
Oh, you got.
Oh, and I got an A on my jersey.
Nice.
Look at this. Look at how. That's
That's pretty sweet.
pretty. You like that, Maddie's a show? Look at that bad boy. That's pretty
I
freaking
got a
cool.
white one.
Jansen on the back.
Oh, look at mine.
Dude, you got to see,
got
you
the-
son of a bitch.
Oh, did I? I got the
Oh,
captain.
did I? You
Oh,
know,
love
show
it.
the
I
camera the
love
right
it.
way,
I love
you
it.
dink.
He made me the captain.
Look at that.
Well, that
I'm
makes
surprised you didn't
sense.
tell to put your neck a little bit bigger so it's equal to mine.
That makes sense.
Wow.
What do you
Look
think
at
of
that.
That looks
That's
pretty cool, huh?
dude, this is bitching.
Look at that. And then-
We'll hang them up.
Yeah, we'll hang these up.
So anyway, check these bad boys out right here. This is not an you don't have to crumble that up in front of the mic. These aren't easy to make, by the way.
No.
Very detailed.
Very
Look at
detailed.
Andy's chiseled chin. Look at
that.
his ears.
Look at that.
Look at his ears. Look at the gap in between. Look at the gap in between my teeth. Oh, that's
and
great.
I got to see. So like
Andy doesn't have
he
a
understands.
Adam's apple for some reason.
What are you saying? Do I have one?
Usually men have Adam's apple. Do you?
I don't think everyone has one that sticks out.
Do you? I'm just saying. Looks pretty damn good though, man. That's when I had good hair too.
Mm.
If they did it now, I'd fucking
It's
be
just a
balder
nice
than a
jersey.
fucking doorknob.
I would play fast in this. I would play fast in this.
You wanted to play so bad. You should
I
have
worked all weekend.
You should have played. You couldn't play in the fans camp at all.
I had blues on. Well, I couldn't have gone Thursday night, and I couldn't have gone Saturday. Did you guys play and Friday? Jeez, you guys played all day Friday
all day
too?
Friday
And Sunday?
No, just Saturday.
Oh,
Sunday.
so it's over.
Sunday, I was donezo.
So
Baby.
did you sleep?
Got
You
super
stayed at home on Saturday night?
Yeah, I was supposed to stay. I just like to go home. I like to get the fuck home. Kate drove, like just get us home, hang with the dogs, and just I stay in another hotel. Like Jesus, like I'm sick of hotels, man. So I just wanted to get home.
Yeah, it was great to see Ovi's mom
At 11:15 game or 11:30 game on a Sunday. How awesome was that? It's perfect.
Okay, it was great to see Ovi's mom live at the game.
Yeah,
because of her. Which I'm seeing all this connection. I knew who she was, and she looked so familiar. Seeing her over the years, I just never really put two and two together. But I think she runs the women's national basketball team for Russia.
Oh, yeah.
And she was the president of a team that Diana Taurasi played for and Sue Bird played for. They were teammates together, and she was the president of the team. And she would always talk about this little son that she had named Sasha. And so Sue's told this story before. Of course, she's married to the basketball player or the soccer player who with the purple hair. What's her name?
Megan Rapinoe.
She's married to Megan. They're a great couple. And anyway, so she and Megan had talked this story before about how when they were playing and when she was playing in Russia, that the president had this son named Alexander, who ended up being the first overall NHL pick. And now they were telling the story, Sue Bird and Diana Taurasi, two of the best players you're ever going to find, come through UConn, who won the national championship again. So big shout out to UConn. But they're great players, and they knew of Alexander Ovechkin, dude, long before anybody had heard of him over here in the United States.
Cool.
And his mom is a legend when it comes to women's basketball. She's like a 2-time gold medalist in the Olympics, dude. Did you know that?
I would. She didn't look like it. I know she's getting
I think
older.
she's probably a little tall. She's kind of.
She didn't look like she was tall at all.
No?
No.
Point
But
guard, actually.
She's got to have some sort of genetic freak genes in her
to
build that freak of a human of
To
Alexander
create that
Ovechkin, who I love to death, man. That guy is just the coolest motherfucker in the world. Fucking falling face first after he scores. How would he even get that shot off? Tom Wilson gets the assist too, just like Marty McSorley did with Wayne back in the day. The shit kickers fucking step up and do their thing.
on the power play.
I had to watch that 50 times to figure out even what happened. Because
Really?
everybody's kind of cruising, and Ovi's just hanging out, and Tom Wilson just throws it through like 4 guys.
Set play, man. It was a beautiful pass.
No one even got their stick on it. Ovi's like, back here, and then turns and rips it.
He just catches it and shoots it.
Shoots it so
in
hard.
one motion, dude.
Unbelievable, dude. That was awesome.
in one motion.
He falls like, ah! Like most guys would be like this, hello, and go like this to everybody. Now Ovi's like, fuck it, I'm diving in the fucking pond again, or the water fountain again, or whatever it is. But Ovi he's just a man. Now the question is, in my opinion, he's on my Mount Rushmore now, dude.
Really?
You have the most goals in NHL history. You are on the Mount
Who are you
Rushmore.
taking off?
I'll tell you right now. I'm going Alexander Ovechkin. I'm going Wayne. I'm going Mario. And I'm going Sidney Crosby. Go ahead. Bring it on. Bring the heat on me. That's my Mount Rushmore.
Fine. You're just like
It's my Mount Rushmore right now.
eliminating like the previous generation.
I'm eliminating Gordie Howe and Bobby Orr.
Wow.
Well, did I say Bobby Orr on there? No.
You eliminated Bobby Orr too.
It's time for a change. And Sidney deserves it. And now
Okay,
fucking the
I
greatest
think-
goal scorer ever is going to be on the Mount Rushmore.
Can I say this?
Yeah.
And I don't mean to be disrespectful because I don't want to be disrespectful to you or anything.
You're always disrespectful to me.
But so don't take offense to this, okay?
No,
Just
right.
don't.
Just go ahead, dude. It ain't that big of a deal.
You're not gonna get mad.
A
or
Mount
anything.
Rushmore?
Like those are the dumbest conversations ever. This is what they
Yeah,
do when
I
they
get
talk
what
NBA players.
I know what you mean.
Okay,
That's fine.
This is the NBA shows. You're bringing the NBA First Take Talk here to the Chemistry.
They get a lot of
podcast
views on
today.
that first take, don't they?
I understand, but like this is where
Then what do you want to talk about? Give me something on Ovi then.
I
He's
mean,
on my
Mount
Rushmore.
Rushmore because the
Don't
problem
think people
is
are going to talk about that?
okay, but Mount Rushmore Because you know what's interesting? I hear a lot of people saying, wow, it's interesting. The greatest goal scorer in the history of the National Hockey League may not go down as a top 5 player in the history of the game. You know what I mean? Like,
He's in my book.
okay. I
And
mean,
3,000 hits.
it's an
Fuck
opinion.
yeah, baby.
It's an opinion.
Yeah,
Bobby
and I just
Orr
gave
would
it.
be hard to take off.
I took him off. It was hard to take Gordie Howe off. Took him off.
And I will say this about Crosby, as great as Crosby is, and like his numbers are unbelievable. He's on a scoring streak, a point streak right now that he continues to produce. He's gotten to 30 goals again. He's going to get to 90 points probably. Point per game player, each of his 20 seasons in the NHL, which is just an absolute insane stat. And he has the 3 Stanley Cups and the international hardware and all that. I do need to see his team get competitive again before he retires.
For what?
Just
to keep him in that mix, the top tier mix?
I like how even at this stage of Ovechkin doing this, he's not doing this with a last place team. He's not doing this with a team that's a bottom feeder. He's not doing this with a team that's out of the playoffs. He's doing this with the best team in the league right now, point-wise.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I think they're behind Winnipeg now. They've been losing games.
They have been, but let's double-check the stats.
Go ahead.
Because Winnipeg was losing a couple games there, too.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Dallas had an opportunity to really gain some ground on Winnipeg.
But Crosby and
they've lost a couple games. But like Crosby, all I'm saying is Winnipeg has 108 points. Washington 107. So Washington just got passed. But you know what I'm saying? He's doing this with a team that's very competitive. I would never take anything away from Sidney Crosby. He's one of my one of the best players to ever watch. But I do want to see Pittsburgh. I just don't want to. I said this before, dude. You just can't have his last 5-6 years in the league just be on teams that have no chance of getting in the playoffs.
Yeah,
you know. So that's the challenge of Doobie. Build some players around this guy. Get younger, get faster, get better.
Yeah.
To get this guy back into the playoffs where he can compete for a Stanley Cup once again.
I get that.
So that's all I'm saying.
It's not a hot take, baby. He's still on my Mount Rushmore. Ovi and Sid fucking saved the game, man. The game was in a weird spot.
Yeah.
The hockey games were on after goddamn duck hunting, and then Sid and Ovi take over and just fucking, and they lived up to every single bit of hype that was presented to them as a young kid.
Do you think point per game, greater than a point per game in 20 consecutive seasons, is, where do you put that in relation to the most goals in the history of the game? I mean, Cam, it's an insane stat. Nobody's ever done that for 20 years, dude. To do that every year.
To do what Crosby did?
To average more than a point per game every year of your career. And I know there's some seasons where he, didn't play a complete season and had injuries and there weren't a lot of games in there. So it's kind of hard to, go back and forth. But
those two were just, they lived up to every single thing, man.
Oh,
every fucking year. And then Ovi separates himself because he hits, and he'll knock you out with a fight. And then he parties. See him? Bands make you dance. Bands make you dance. I go, what the fuck is that song? It's a straight up hardcore talking about pussy and shit. And they're playing it at all these restaurants while he's in there. There's like children everywhere, and he's dancing to this fucking hardcore rap song talking about beating up them strippers with your wee-wee. Mm-hmm. That's what he's talking about. You know what I mean?
Really?
Bands of money to the fucking rippers. Bands will make you dance. Figure it out.
Bands will make her
Andy
dance.
Is so on a fucking touch.
That's what it's.
Bands will make her dance. Not bands like I got a band. No, bands with stacks of money, baby.
So stacks will make her dance.
Yeah, money will make you dance because you are basically a stripper.
Yeah. Interesting.
Or a prostitute.
So it was great to see everybody on the ice. Janet was on the ice. Wayne was on the ice. Wayne was very classy in a lot of the stuff that he said. Thought it was just, I love how he just commands the room, even when he's on the ice. Yeah. He just knows how to just like.
He goes, he's great, man. He's like, he goes, did Gordie Howe buy Wayne a car?
No.
What was that?
The team.
The team did.
Bought Wayne Gretzky a Rolls Royce when he broke the record.
That's right.
Gordie Howe's record.
Yeah.
And so he said to Ted Leonsis, who's the owner of the Washington Capitals, that like, hey, so, you're going to have to basically step up. But the whole thing was great, man. I love the ceremony. I love the fact that Nicholas Backstrom was there. The emotion between Ovechkin and Backstrom. I mean, there's some real love right there. Oshie being back there, having him mention Oshie, on his during his on ice, speech. Yep. They've always been a close team, dude. We've always said on this show that they're the coolest team in the league. Dude.
Yep.
We've been saying this for a long time. John Carlson, Tom Wilson, these guys that have been with Ovi for a long time. But you even see the guys who just get there or who haven't been there as long, just their relationship with Oshie and how Ovechkin, how tight they are too. You know, guys like Chikrin, man, in 1 year, you know what I mean? And
how can you not be cool with him?
And
I'd follow him everywhere.
Dylan Strome, all these guys, man, they're all tight, dude.
Leonard now's like hanging out with Leonard,
acting. He's going up to him like, "Hey, Joe," you know, like
just,
he's known him for a week.
If you're a young kid and you have him as your leader, like you got it pretty damn good, man. Like you would want to just be around him at all times, just fucking feed off his energy, and just was really cool.
What do you think happens to Washington now? Do you think like there's been so much
they're gonna lose in the first round
energy on the pursuit of the chase? It's so taxing mentally. It takes so much energy to go through that. Do you exhale now? Because it happens at the very end of the season, right before the playoffs.
I know.
You don't want to exhale because they've got bigger things to accomplish now.
Let me see where they're at. Who would they play? Would it be Montreal? I'm guessing.
Montreal, they're the second wild card, so
it's either
they should be able to beat Montreal.
Yeah, I don't know, man. There's just a lot. You're thinking of so many different things throughout that whole process. I don't know if it's going to benefit them now. They're probably like, oh God, and you lose a couple games and then the playoffs start, and hopefully you can get that magic back. I don't know what to think of the Washington Capitals as a whole going into the playoffs. Like I don't know. Everybody counted them out. You know, no one really thought that they were going to do what they did, and all of a sudden now they're here. Did it have a lot to do with him chasing the record, and everybody's just fucking just coming together like we're supporting you? And but I don't know. Maybe it's more of a distraction. Hell, they might have had more points if he didn't have a distraction. Who knows? But playoffs are different. I hope they do well in the playoffs because they're fun to watch.
Yeah.
But I don't know, man. It's just a different animal right now.
People are asking if the Florida Panthers tanking intentionally to avoid playing Tampa in the first round, and then they can play Toronto in the first round. And I think the answer is yes. I think they absolutely are, and why wouldn't you? I would tank too. You don't.
How do you tank though, Andy?
How do you tank? Here's their lineup yesterday.
Yeah. Go ahead.
No Kachuk.
Oh, that's not on them.
No Kulikov.
Is he hurt?
No Sturm. No Bennett.
Hurt?
No Reinhardt. No Barkov. No Forsling.
No Ekblad.
No Ekblad.
That's a completely different no.
That's
tanking.
That's tanking. And
you're right.
Are they all hurt? They're all hurt.
Little bruise.
I mean, they all played in the previous game.
Everybody got hurt. What happened?
I mean,
let
me say that again. No Ekblad, no Matthew Kachuk, no Kulikov, no Sturm, no Bennett, no Reinhardt, no Barkov.
Interesting.
No Forsling.
Oh, yeah, you're tanking.
I mean, they're 100% tanking.
Or you're just resting and see what happens. And because if you tank, the hockey karma will get you too.
Well, I believe that these guys are banged up. Like there's something, that they're dealing with.
Sure.
It's not like they're 100% and they're just not playing.
But they probably could play.
Oh, yeah. The fact that they're all hurt at one time.
So is that tanking or is that just resting your
players?
No,
I think it's like, let's not force the issue here. And if we slide down into the wild card spot, we're all good.
So what?
We got to the final a couple years ago as a wild card team.
We know what to do.
Yeah.
We've been here before a couple times.
I think avoiding a Tampa Bay first round would probably be in their best interest with the health issues they're dealing with. I think they could beat Toronto. They're in Toronto's head anyway.
Yeah.
Although maybe this is the year Toronto beats.
That's what this hockey, man.
These guys have played so much hockey the last couple of years.
Anytime you want to tank for something, it usually doesn't turn out the right way.
Yeah. But I'm not sitting here and saying but I don't think there's any urgency to feel like they've got to finish in the top three.
You know who's fucking annoying? This whole Ovi thing. One guy. Well, there's some guys that fucking hate Ovi so much, some writers and stuff like that. Blah, 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 blah. He's with Putin. Whatever. Dominic Hasek.
Oh,
Jesus,
God.
fucking
His
calm down.
tweets yesterday.
Calm down and enjoy your money, you fucking baby. Jesus fucking Christ. I used to look up to you. You were awesome. Although you were a dick as a teammate at Corner. Now you're just liking this. And
was Barnaby here this weekend?
No.
I didn't see him.
I know. No. But Hasek, fuck, you're getting annoying, dude.
Yeah.
Calm the fuck down. Enjoy life. You had a hell of a career. Mopey and negative all goddamn day. You hate this, you hate that. Yeah, shut the fuck up.
Mr. Negative.
Mr. fucking negative. No one wants to be around you. You think Ovi's like, yeah, Putin, keep doing your thing. He doesn't fucking know. Like he's playing hockey, man. Not to mention, if you go against them, like you have family there.
No
like you
shit.
trust going against Putin and you got family over there? Hell no.
And especially when his mom's high profile.
No shit. Like, get out of here, man.
Well, his whole family's high profile because of who
You think
he is.
he's in the meetings of Putin going over the strategic game plan on what they're going to do next to Ukraine? Like, do you really think that? No fucking clue.
No, but
what's
I
going
bet
on.
you, like, he's got a direct pipeline to call him whenever he wants to.
That doesn't mean that they're sitting down
Oh, I
directing
agree with you.
fucking
He's
strategy.
he's not part of like the
They all
government.
are. Exactly.
He doesn't
Like,
work for them.
that's why Hashik's
He's
like,
playing
calm
hockey
down.
in Washington D.C.
Hashik, go to Ukraine and put a fucking uniform on and fight.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Or donate all your money to Ukraine. Donate all your money over there.
Yeah.
Go ahead. We want a peace deal. We're
Hey.
trying to get a peace deal done. People want this war to go on and on and on. We want a fucking peace deal.
It's a different world over there, man. If you think these guys can just come out and say what you want them to say to make you happy, but put their family in harm's way, dude, they're not going to do
Hey,
that.
Ukraine's building a $1.5 billion ski resort. It's interesting.
Who told you that?
The news.
You
1.5
believe
billion.
everything?
I don't
in the
believe a
news?
lot of things. but-
Zelensky say that?
No, he didn't, Andy. They're building a fucking ski resort. Interesting.
1.5 million or 1.5
billion.
Really?
What do you think? $1 million ski resort? What are you gonna get? You know,
A hill.
A hill. Hidden Valley is fucking probably $20 million. You know. So anyway, it's very complex. But Hashik, calm down, dude. Jesus.
Settle
Christ.
down, Dominic Hasek.
No one wants anybody dying, man. Want these wars to all be ended. All of them. Palestine, fucking Israel, all of them. Fucking stop. How does that happen? Don't know. But I don't want any more war. I hate war. I used to want to go to war after 9/11. Now you see all what happened. You're like, fuck that. The military-industrial complex, fuck you. There's so many people that fucking benefit from going to war. We don't want it. We want everybody to stop killing each other, man. That's it, baby. But Damo, like, Jesus.
Dominic.
He's like Stephen King right now, just negative all day. I hate this. Everything's sad. You this.
Is Stephen King
Oh,
very
he's
negative
fucking
too?
obnoxious. God, I used to love him, man. I used to read every one of his books.
So how are you getting his opinions? Is he
He's
tweeting?
tweeting all day.
Do you think a lot of the people that you see on social media that are
Fake.
like,
So virtue signaling.
like, can anybody truly live their life?
So I'll give you an example. Like, just remember when in Canada we talked about this before, like, Bell, let's talk, meaning like mental health problems. And you see all these guys that are fucking telling people they want to die because they don't think the same way politically with them. That you're a fucking scum. I hope your family burns in hell. But Bell, let's talk. Bell, let's talk.
Yeah.
Bell, you just told me to go. Hope I die.
Gretzky, you're not
Yeah.
welcome here. We hate
We
you.
hate you.
Bell, let's talk.
Bell, let's
After
talk.
you just like put this
There it
family in like depression
There
because
it
the whole
is.
country's turning on him.
There it is. Bell, let's talk. Shut the fuck up.
No, I think
Virtue
I
signal.
think that can be a good campaign for those who really. I mean, not everybody's bad.
No. Bell, let's talk is great.
Yeah.
It's the people that chirp and they're negative and they literally want you
Yeah.
dead because you think differently
But
politically.
then they're the ones
They're
that
the ones
are
like, Bell, let's talk.
hashtag.
Yeah. Hashtag, we need to be nice to everybody. Bitch, I just saw your last fucking
I
tweet.
know.
You want everybody to fucking die that doesn't think the same way as you politically.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting how that works. That's called virtue signaling.
Yeah.
So it's all good, man. We love everybody. You know what I mean?
I see a lot of that.
Negativity, man. I'm the only one that's nice. I
But-
swear to God, I'm the only one that gives out compliments.
But Prongs is like, he's covered all the bases, really, from luxury travel to
He's done a lot.
health and wellness
It's just funny. You know what I mean?
to financial advice.
Yeah, I mean, he knows a lot of shit. He's a smart man.
And then now it's like, hey, Vancouver, do you still think you have a chance? Lights out on the, Utah Hockey Club. I do want to get back to Ovi real quick, just
Go
from
ahead,
the
baby.
standpoint that, like,
ahead, baby.
I want to make sure we are giving him his proper, like, flowers here, man. Like, it's amazing what he's done. He's the greatest goal scorer ever that we've ever seen, that this generation has certainly ever seen. And it is a little creepy, the fact that he did it in the same amount of games as Wayne Gretzky. That is just so strange to me. You know what I mean? That's amazing.
One less game, right?
Well, I think he scored one more goal in the same amount of games.
Okay. Well, then that's better.
Yeah, and it's crazy. But I was surprised in the question that Rick Bowness asked Wayne Gretzky
I saw it.
in the post game. And I like Rick
Me
a
too.
lot. I think he's fantastic.
We had him on.
Here. It's
Yep.
one of my favorite interviews we've done, honestly. Maybe not one of the loudest interviews, but if you love talking hockey with really smart people, like he's a great person to talk to. But he kind of like said to Wayne, it was almost like suggesting that what Ovechkin has done is way more impressive because in Wayne's era, the players weren't very good, the coaches weren't very good,
Goalies.
the goalies weren't good.
We love Panger, but think of Panger and net
Yeah.
with those little pads.
Yeah.
You're shooting off.
No, I know. But like Wayne was like, I just love how he like in the most confident,
Yep.
most classy, most like no showing no agitation,
No. Yep.
no conflict, not argumentative, was like, yeah, there's no doubt the athletes today are just incredible. They're way faster, they're stronger, and but I would have loved to play 3-on-3. I would have loved to start every power play in the offensive zone. It's like, so let's not like.
How about a nice stick
Yeah.
instead of those tree trunks that
Yeah.
you're using?
I mean, in fairness, Ovi, it's just his consistency what separates him from everybody else. I mean, he's got like 9 50-goal seasons or whatever it is, and however many 40-goal seasons. He only got to 60 one time. Wayne was scoring 92 even in his era, right? I mean, who knows how many goals Ovechkin would have scored, but you can't evaluate it like that. You can't ask about how Michael Jordan would play in
Today's
the
game?
60s with the Boston Celtics when they were winning all those, NBA championships
Yeah.
or, whatever. Like I hate when you try to evaluate players in greatness based on the era they played in.
Yeah.
They were great for that era. That's why I'm
decade's
not a
different.
huge, whatever fucking fan, the mountain, whatever.
Rushmore.
Mount Rushmore.
Yeah.
Because it's like
Who's
dude,
on Mount
everyone
Rushmore?
played at different eras. I mean, shit, I don't know. I would probably suggest that Cale Makar is probably better than Bobby Orr. If you put Cale Makar, his current skill set, in Bobby Orr's era, maybe this guy is also like putting up 100 plus points.
Who we just
And
have on this set? He's
Doing
on.
it. This guy's doing 90 plus points in today's era.
Yeah, 30
You
plus
know
goals.
that Cale Makar is like the first defenseman to have consecutive seasons of 90 plus points since like Al McInnes.
Was it Ray Bork?
Al McInnes and Ray Bork, maybe.
Yeah, maybe something like that.
Like since they did it,
Yeah.
like only like 5 players in the history of the league have ever done that.
No,
It's been done more than 5 times. Only 5 players in the history of the league have ever done it. Only 19 defensemen in the history of the league have ever scored 30 goals in a season. Kevin Hatcher was one of them, which was really
Isn't that
interesting.
crazy with Washington?
Yeah, he had 34 goals one year.
Washington.
Give Kevin Hatcher a shout out.
There's a stat out that Ovi scored 18.6 of all Capitals goals since he started. That's a lot.
Yeah. And how he's done it and with his, ability to shoot, but like, early in his career, dude, this guy was like dangling guys and scoring on breakaways, fast break goals.
Everything.
I mean, he was scoring in every way.
Everything. Using his body, using his strength, using his skill, using his speed, using everything.
But you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to diminish what Wayne Gretzky did because of the era that he played in.
No, you're
or
not doing
anybody
that.
who tries to, or say the Bobby or this guy played in his era. Mike Bossy may be the greatest goal scorer in the history of the NHL.
But he quit because he got hurt.
Yeah.
And
And that's why these records, that's what separates Ovechkin from Bossy and these other.
didn't get hurt.
It's about longevity.
No shit.
Who can do it for the longest period of time. That's how you break historic records.
Yes, and it's like, well, he didn't get hurt. Well, that means he's a freak. That amplifies him.
Mhm.
How do you not get hurt? In fact, he did get hurt this year, and he came back in a
couple weeks.
In a couple weeks,
with
he
a
broke his
broken
leg.
leg.
That's what makes him. That's what separates him. Even Mario Lemieux, the point or goal per game is probably more than Ovi, a little bit more. I think
Yeah.
Mario's second to Mike Bossy, but Mario got hurt too.
Right.
He had cancer,
And he had illness.
but he had
health
back
issues.
problems big time
Yeah.
too, and so he just couldn't get there. Ovi didn't. He just didn't, and you have to take that and realize that is a freak thing in itself, like to be able to do that and play this game, not to mention play a physical game.
Mhm.
Play a physical game in the corners, doing this thing. Now he's a little lazy now, getting older, blah, blah, blah. But goddamn, man, not to be able to get hurt while you have 3,000 hits and that many goals.
He's averaging more goals per game this year, though, than he has in the last several years of his career, though. Like, it's crazy. He's
unbelievable.
having an unbelievable year.
Yeah.
Although I think goal scoring, we only have one player right now with 50 plus goals in the league.
Draisaitl?
Yeah.
Yep.
I don't think anybody else is going to get there.
I know, isn't that weird how it goes?
I think Nylander's second in the league with like 43 goals.
How about
or something.
Matthews almost getting 70 last year?
I
Then it
know.
just dips down to 50. It's
crazy.
because the goalies are fantastic. Look at Benner. Look what Jordan Bennington's doing right now.
But Matthews I don't think he's been 100% all year long.
No,
Just
I
hasn't
know.
looked like it.
But you get 70, dude. You're thinking like somebody else is getting 70. This is where everything's going to pace is going to be with all these big time goal scorers. No, it's not the case.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like the people are fucking. God, every other team. It was funny. I heard on the radio today. I was listening. They found the cut of the Avalanche broadcasters. Forgot the guy's name. He's from Denver and stuff like that. Went to Denver University and whatnot. He's a Colorado broadcaster.
Like color guy or a play-by-play guy?
Play-by-play guy, main guy, who calling the goals, and he was so pissed at the Blues last game. You should listen to his calls. It's hilarious. He's like, they score again. Somebody get a voodoo doll of Jordan Bennington and start poking it right now because this is going to end. Well, we'll see what these guys do in the playoffs. This is going to end soon. I mean, losing his fucking mind throughout this game.
This is this last game, not the game in Colorado where they were pissed about a no call and all that.
The last game.
Okay. A couple days ago.
They played it all day in the radio. It was
I talked to Mark
hilarious.
Rycroft for a while that morning, man. He's great. I love Mark. But their announcers, they get into
losing their mind. Everybody's like they're like fucking mad at the Blues. The Blues are like, we're just doing our thing.
I know.
We don't have any big superstars. We're just playing as a team.
Yeah.
And people are getting pissed.
And as great as Bennington has been, and Hofer too, because they both have contributed to this long streak, and Hofer's going to play tonight in Winnipeg too.
Yeah.
So, but he really hasn't been forced to like steal games over this stretch or be incredible. Like he's had some games where he has been incredible, but if you look at it statistically, the Blues are like leading the league since the Four Nations in shots against. They're like right there with Florida. They're giving up like under 24 shots against per game. Like they haven't been giving up a whole lot. They hardly ever give up a breakaway. Their defense is incredible.
Yeah.
I mean,
without Colin Parayko.
What do you make out of that?
Their system. They're buying into their system, dude. Their structure is unbelievable.
Yeah.
Slow
And
you down.
That's when I say like they don't ever give up hardly any odd man rushes. I can think of one breakaway over the course of this 12-game winning streak. The game in Colorado where he hit the post and didn't score.
Yeah, right off the bat.
But that is coaching to me when your structure is
tight
and your defense is just so intelligent in terms of how they play because they're so experienced.
Look at guys like Letty and Fowler. My God Almighty, Falk. I mean, those guys, they just know what to do.
Everyone talks about the offer sheets, but like getting Cam Fowler, who's got another year left on his deal, for a second-round pick is just almost insane to me. Like, what does Pat Verbeek think? This guy's been a really good player for a long time, and I know he didn't have impressive numbers.
No,
in Anaheim, but could he have like said, "I want a first-round pick for him"? Though this guy's got another year left on his deal. He can still play. I still see him practice and play every day. He's on a shitty team, so maybe his numbers don't look good, but you plug him into a good team. Look at the numbers he's put up since he's come to St. Louis, dude. It's unbelievable. This guy controls the game. He plays like a legit number one defenseman right now.
Oh, he is the number one defenseman right now. And he's living up to everything. Right when he got here, with the first game, I was on the road with him, and he started playing. I'm like, whoa.
I think he's got like 3 games with at least 3 points or something.
He's great. But Andy, though, like
since he's come here,
you say like Pat Verbeek's like, hey, I watched this guy in practice. Like, who are you saying that to? Another GM? He's like, oh, tell me more about him in practice.
No, I'm just saying. Well, you didn't have to trade him in December.
There it is, though.
That's what I mean.
But you did. If you would have traded him at the deadline, that might have been a different.
That's what I mean. So you don't want to give me a first. You want him in December.
Give Army credit.
Give me 100%. Army does this all the time.
Yeah.
Where he gets guys and doesn't give up.
He looks at the future. He's like, we might need a fucking minute muncher.
And go get him now. Hey, we're scouting him too. We know he can still play at a high level.
Well, the Blues fans here, and I said this before, the Blues fans here, when they did trade a second round for Cam Fowler, and we were going on Twitter, dude, everybody's like, look at him. He's not good at all. This, a second rounder for this. Look at his numbers. He's letting in this. And I'm like, okay. But like this, showing all this different analytics. And he gets here and he's unbelievable.
And I can see some people coming back at me and be like, well, Army gave up Jake Wallman, whatever. Wallman's not Cam Fowler, though. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, like he went up and put up some points and Detroit gave him away. Basically paid to give him to San Jose.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, Edmonton gave up a first-round pick for him. And Wallman's a good skater and a good player. But
the Blues, you need to work on one thing. What is it? The one thing that sticks out right now, it's not a big issue until it is a big issue.
Mhm.
What do you think it is?
Well, are you going to go with special teams or?
6-on-5. Feel
Oh
like
yeah, defending the
Damn,
6-on-5.
they let a lot of goals.
They've been doing. They did that with other
Ruby.
coaches in the past too. Yeah.
Yep, you're right.
So,
They let a lot of goals at the end of the game. Like they just needed. They're tight.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, a 6-on-5 comes around, and I know maybe Colorado, when you throw all those
Mm-hmm.
superstars out there, it's hard to defend. But that would be the one thing that you could look at, like, hey, that needs to change a little bit.
Yeah.
Not if that's what you're worried about, you're doing pretty damn good.
Colorado, they do.
They're
They
loaded.
got a lot of good players out there
They're
in a
good.
6-on-5.
I don't know if I want to
situation.
play them. We'll see what happens tonight. And I know it's a Monday, Winnipeg.
Would you rather play out of the Pacific bracket than the Central bracket? I threw this out on Twitter last week. Got a ton of responses.
What people say?
I mean, I think the Pacific is the way to go, just because Edmonton's a little bit banged up. They're not 100%.
Yeah.
So if you can get past Vegas in the first round, you'd play the winner of Edmonton, LA. I just feel like Dallas. I'd do anything to avoid Dallas. I wouldn't want to play Colorado in a 7-game series early in the playoffs. Maybe catch them late. I don't know.
I don't know, man.
But now you just wonder how the injury to Holloway, how that's going to impact the Blues. We're going to find out. You know, they obviously had it rolling at home. They play now on the road in Winnipeg. They got to go to Edmonton.
And then Seattle.
Before they finish in Seattle. So this will be an interesting
Good test.
road
in
trip
Winnipeg.
for the Blues. You know, after winning 12 consecutive games, man, you give them all the credit in the world. But Holloway, people don't realize. I know they look at the point total, but this guy was such a huge part of their team.
Yeah.
The pace they play with, the chemistry he's got with Kyrou, which has led to the Blues having 2 lines at the top of their roster that can contribute every single night. You know, I like Jakey Neighbors, but he's not Holloway, right? He's not going to have that same type of chemistry with Kyrou in terms of how he plays.
Pretty good the other night.
No, he's Kyrou. Holloway can play, or Neighbors can play with anybody.
Whew.
His game doesn't change. He does whatever you ask him to do, but he's not Holloway. You know, listen
He's not
how
quick
they.
enough. He's not quick like Holloway.
He and Kyrou coming over the top, drop passes, whatever.
Yeah.
They just have that chemistry.
You're right.
All of a sudden, they could do little slip passes to the slot one-timers. You know, like
Holloway's got a better shot, probably.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I'll tell you who's got the best shot on the team right now is that Zachary Bolduc. Holy shit. He's a confidence built spewing out of him right now, man. He's got those tacks on, too, those little tacks now.
Mhm.
Yeah, those are kind of cool skates. But he rips the puck, man. Holy shit. Little bumper spot and a little power play, finding his rhythm.
Well, Robert Thomas, man, it's just
There it is.
he's got. I think he's assisted on each of his last 5 goals.
Just
or
finds
something.
them everywhere. Finds them everywhere. I'd
Right
love
in
to
the
play with
this little
Robert Thomas.
5-foot sauce.
And he
bag.
could score a fucking couple goals, maybe. If only you played one game and you played with Robert
Hey.
Thomas. Where would you be right now?
in the show,
In the show, still playing. You would have played in that event.
breaking records.
You would have played in that event.
Oh yeah,
Signed
probably.
autographs, real autographs. I love it, man. Give a little Jimmy Snuggerud a little shout out, man. He had a nice fucking play to Pavel Buccigross in front of the net.
Back-to-back games, made a
Damn
great
right.
pass. And you know what? On
Damn
both
right.
of his assists, the one on Neighbors and then the one on Buccigross, like
Damn right.
he made great plays leading up to both goals,
Yep.
man. On the Neighbors one, like inside his own zone, you know, makes a nice pass through a stick, whatever, like defensive play, pokes the puck away, gets possession of it, attacks going the other way. And then
Bauchi
against Colorado, like he lifts McKinnon's stick and
There
then
it
he
is.
wins the battle against
in the
Taves
corner.
and makes the play. His skating is going to get better. I see some people kind of chirping his skating. Like I've watched him, even in practice, whatever. Like he can play with elite players in terms of the pace that he can get
Yeah.
up to. Like his edge work and some of that stuff is going to get, better. He's going to get his balance will
gonna fill
improve.
into his body,
He's going to
too.
fill in. He's going to get stronger.
Yeah.
But this
How
guy,
old is he?
he'll score on this road trip. I wouldn't be surprised if he scored tonight against Winnipeg.
How old is he? Is he 20 or 21?
20.
Is he 20? Just 20?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. The Blues got.
But he's a shooter, man. He's a scorer. He'll get his chance. He really hasn't had his chances yet.
He'll
Had
get
a
there.
couple last game, but where he can, especially playing with Thomas, he's going to get some. He's going to get the puck in space there in a shooting.
And eventually he's gonna be
situation
like,
where he'll bury it.
When you're young like that, man, you want to dish as much as possible, man. You're playing online, Robert Thomas and Bucci. You're like, I want to give them the puck.
Mhm.
Once you get a little bit older and established, you're like, no, I'm going to shoot here.
Yeah.
So your mindset changes a little bit when you start playing, when you get a little bit more experience. So, you don't have to just look every time for a pass, like because you're afraid your older veteran teammates that are leaders of the team are going to look at you in a different way.
Yeah.
Eventually, you're going to start shooting the puck just like Zachary Bolduc's
Mhm.
Bolduc's doing right now. So
Well, Army's got to be happy he didn't make any moves
No
at
shit.
the
No doubt.
at the deadline. Because Shen didn't want to go.
No.
And I really believe that if Shen were to have waived his no trade, that you would have seen other players go as well. Because I think some players were kind of saying to Shen, like, hey, if you go, then I'm going.
I'm with you. Yeah. You lead this
if
team,
you
dude.
stay, I'm staying.
Shinner is a freaking captain, dude.
Now, it doesn't mean he's not going to get traded in the summer. I will say,
Yeah.
you
never know.
Our Army's got to do his job.
Of course.
This guy's got 3 years left on his deal. Like, I'm not going to sit here and say what he should or shouldn't do.
No.
But I will say, by not trading him at the deadline has contributed to the Blues obviously being in this spot.
Of course. Shinner he's just turning into like the ultimate captain, man.
He has, man. His reputation
seriously.
as a captain has just gotten so good over the course of the last, few months here this season.
I'd say this whole year.
This whole year. But
basically.
He's got Snuggerud living with him right now. Jimmy Snuggerud, growing up with a fat head of Sidney Crosby in his bedroom on the wall. And, he and Shen have the same agent, Ben Hankinson. I'll give him and Chris McAlpine a shout out. It's great to see them here in St. Louis. But, he's living with Shen. And, one day he's playing for the University of Minnesota. The next day he's at Shen's house and Sidney Crosby's having dinner over there, man.
Yeah.
He comes over there with Kevin
cool.
Hayes, Noel Achari. He's just, he goes from being on the ice with Patrick Kane to Sidney Crosby to Nathan McKinnon and Makar, man. It's
Playing against the big
welcome
boys.
to the NHL.
Yeah, man.
But Shen will do that. He did that with Neighbors, too. Had him live with them. I talked to Tyler Tucker, who's like an up-and-coming defenseman. I said, hey, who's taking you under your wing? He says, Shen, man.
Of course.
He's taking us out, has us over to his house all the time.
I see it on the road, how Shen gets everybody together. They're always together.
He makes all the dinner reservations. He's doing all of that.
They all hang out together, man.
Mm-hmm. But he's always been like that. He was doing that even before he was captain and when he was in Philadelphia.
But I think he just really turned into, like, this is what I know how to be the leader. I know what to do.
Yes.
And I'm doing it on the ice as well as off the ice.
Yeah.
And it just all coexists. So the Blues have a really good thing going. And about 3, 4, 5 months ago, people were panic mode in this town. And now they realize, holy shit, these guys are really turning it on. These young guys are fucking taking another step. Yeah. Now you got these other young guys.
A whole nother wave of players coming up.
And they're starting to take the step. You're like, wow. Mm-hmm. It turned like that, dude.
Yeah. Well, next year, now the bar has been raised. They'll come into next season
expected
to be a top 3 team in the division.
Rightfully so.
Compete for home ice in the playoffs, all of that.
I'll also say, when your 2 big boys go to a big tournament in the middle of the season and fucking dominate, like Jordan Binnington and Colton Parayko did, you're like, and they come back in that locker room, and you're like, God damn.
Yeah.
You look at Jordan Binnington, you're like, I'm going to rally around you. You're the best goalie in the world.
Mm-hmm.
Look what he just did.
Oh, it just gave him a ton of confidence.
Yes. Everybody's like, God,
and
let's go.
And the way they're playing, like, he doesn't have to be Superman every single night. He's got to make a couple big-time saves.
And he does.
At the right time, which he does.
Yes.
Which he did in the 4 Nations, too.
Yep.
It was all about his timely saves. You're going to give up 35, 45 shots a night, 35, 40 shots a night. Like, a couple may squeak through, you know what I mean? But you limit the shots, man. He can stay locked in where he's going to make that big save at the right time. So I love to see the way that Binnington's playing. Robert Thomas is going to make that Olympic team next year, too.
Yeah, you will.
Anything else you need to get into?
Yank.
Your energy is down so low today.
Shit. Yeah, right, man. Well, when you score 4 in a game, dude, it wears you out.
This was a tough Monday. I had to get up at 2 a.m. to go pick up my wife and daughter from the airport. My son was like, why are you going to go do that?
And he's the best dad and mom.
This past weekend I was.
Although
I worked a lot, man. It was like, I needed a lot of help.
The greatest dad and mother. You should have that on a coffee mug.
Best mom and dad. No, I don't discredit. My wife does everything, dude. It's amazing. She was just out of town. She does so much shit. You realize when they're gone how much shit they do. Like, it's crazy.
Fuck yeah, dude. Kate does a lot for me.
You don't have the kids though, man. Like,
I know. She still does a lot. She's doing shit for me. You know what she's doing right now? She's picking my dad up and taking him home for the first time in 6 months.
From the hospital?
From the hospital in the fucking nursing home. He's sitting in there with, like, literally.
Oh, so he's been at the nursing home.
Yeah, for like, and he had to go to the hospital back, and he's in a nursing home, and then there's this old, I mean, he's old, but these people are, they
really
can't even talk.
Old. So he gets to go home now.
He gets to go home to this little house in Eureka. that he's lived in for a long
Is
time.
the dog there, or
We can't have the dog. It's too big for him. He's the one that got affected by the dog.
they've given
you
up
know.
on so many dogs over.
We
the
adopted a dog from his sister, you dummy. We're gonna get him a pit bull that's lazy.
What do you mean? I thought he couldn't have a dog.
Not a fucking golden doodle like you got that runs around everywhere. That's huge. He can't keep up with it, man. He can't walk. So he just needs a lounger, a lounge doggy that just lounges around and goes out and comes back in and sleeps by you and just gives you love. That's what he's gonna get, and we're gonna find a good one for him. Can I give a shout out real quick? Heavenly birthday to my mama over the weekend.
Today?
Oh, it was April 5th over the weekend. I love you, Mom. I miss you every fucking day. You've done so much for me. My daddy misses you. My brother does, and we just want to give you a little shout out. Love you.
Oh.
I love you, Mama. But I will say this. I did see that.
Can I not say anything?
What?
I'd like to say something.
What are you going to say? There's nothing you can say that's going to make me feel better because you're not good at that.
I'd like
you
to
are
say.
Not, hopefully, you're good at around your family. I hope you know how to compliment your kids.
So the
you are not
heavenly birthday.
I don't tweet
Is
it out.
her actual birthday or the birthday of when
no,
she passed away?
her birthday was April 5th. Mine's April 15th.
So her birthday is April 5th.
Yes. So I don't do it online. I'm not going to post something because this is too sad, man. It makes me sad. So I'll just say it on here. I miss you and I love you. And, I just want my dad to stick around as long as he can. And now that he's going back into the house, man, I can't wait to go over there and fucking chill with him.
Mm-hmm.
He can't drink. He can smoke a little bit. I can get your mind right. I'm going to hook him up with all kinds of shit.
Is he okay not drinking?
Yeah. Doesn't even think about it, dude. But when you get back, I'm going to hook him up with some of the food and stuff. I'm going to get him all kinds of first form stuff with vitamins and just hook him up, get his mind right, fucking chill, make sure he's all set up going to the bathroom and taking showers and stuff. I have sticky pads in the shower. There's a lot of stuff. But he has a tiny little house, so it's going to be easy to deal with.
You should hook him up with some first form stuff.
I
You should
always
too.
do.
All y'all out there should be getting yourself some first form. You know that creatine, you know how good that is for you now?
It's fucking
I'm
great.
going to start taking it.
You need to do something, boy.
They can build muscle all over me. Like Mark McGuire used to take
No, you're
it.
just not built for anything, Andy. You're just not that way. It's all good. It might help you make you feel a little bit stronger, but you're not doing anything
But
to use your strength
it's a
anyway.
pre-workout.
What are you gonna hold? You gonna hold your mic better? You're not skating. You don't do anything active really. So
I'm going to get back into
So what are you going to take creatine for? You got to take creatine.
I got to be
to
on the
work
ice
out.
tonight with Phil McRae.
Yeah, but you don't do anything when you're on the ice. You're pushing pucks there. You don't even you stand around. You do whatever. So you're not really working. Come skate with the boys.
I did. When I was coaching the older kids, that's what I missed the most, was just being able to jump into
a couple guys I talked to that you coached, and I go, "How was Andy?" They said they loved you. Just so you know.
Really?
I go, I fucking love Strick.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Actually, a couple kids at police named their kids after me. A couple Cams on that team, and one of them said that you coached them too, and he loved you.
And he didn't name him after you then?
No, 100%. That's 100% they did.
Tells
me every day. I didn't even recognize the kid. He's like, I named him after you. I'm like, fuck, I haven't seen him in 3 years.
There's a lot of people who name their dogs after me too.
Andy, Strick, I don't think so.
Big shout out.
Andy was asking fans for him to sign their shirt.
No, it's not.
And to take a picture.
Nobody would ever believe that.
I think they would.
No, because I would never ask anyone to do that.
You were doing it as a joke, but it was still kind of pathetic. But it's all good. It's all good. No big deal.
That kid, I know that he's on the police team.
Yeah.
It's my boy and his son. I know.
They loved you. I just gave you a compliment.
Yeah. Well, I didn't coach him, but I know that guy.
Yeah. But they gave you. There's a couple kids that came up to me and said, "Love the pod." Blah blah blah. Andy was my coach, and I go, we all loved him. We all loved him.
Yeah.
So just so you know, it's a compliment, dude.
Appreciate
I
that.
chirp you,
Yeah,
but
I know.
at least I give you compliments.
I know.
I get nothing from you. I get nothing.
Well, when you're not passing
I'm
the puck
down.
on an
How do you
empty
know
net
I'm down and out? I get down
By
and
the way,
out.
the goalie that they were playing against, he was on mushrooms or something. Is that true?
I don't know, but I would if I would have known that, I would have fucking texted some of them
So,
bad boys.
dude,
I've been drinking all day.
All of a sudden, like the puck is loose. It's in front. Like it's obvious. It's like 5 feet in front. He would like leave the crease.
You see, this is
and
where
he
Andy
started
goes.
skating to the blue line. He thought he had the puck. Did you see that one time?
No, Andy.
And all his
I was too busy scoring.
All the Blackhawks were like, "What are you doing? You got to come back in the net." He was funny, man.
I was on the line with Alexander Steen and Steve Ott. We scored every single
How's
shift.
Steener's game right now?
Damn good. Look at him. He hasn't aged.
He used to wear skates right out of the box, man. He wouldn't even like get them baked or anything. He would just, maybe he would, I don't know. But he would wear new skates all the time. He would go through so many pairs of skates in a year. I remember one time I wanted to do like a feature on it or something, and they were like, I don't know, man. I don't know. We want to like tell everyone how much we're spending on Steiner skates every year.
Oh, was he one of those guys that had skate after skate after skate, like
So many pairs of skates, dude.
kind of like David Kochi did? David Kochi
Like-
would do that.
Wear a new pair of skates in the first period, and then I don't know, I need a new pair of skates in the second.
Yeah.
Something's off with this pair.
Yeah, that might just be a hypochondriac kind of thing, you know?
I don't know if that's exactly how it went down, but I'm just saying, you know.
It was cool to play with those two, man.
Yeah.
Dominate. You know, it was fun. The whole weekend was fun. I don't know how Chaser did it. I just don't know how he did it. I was going to say this, though.
He had a great speech to the guys, right?
God, yeah. All the players were all in the locker room, man. All the veterans and alumni and Chicago Blackhawks and Garth and all the celebrities. And then all the boys just showed up, dude, just happy as shit.
Yeah.
Fucking high-fiving everybody. Yeah. Everybody. Just was like, it was really emotional.
Mm-hmm.
It really was. It really, really was. I'm glad I was a part of that, man. That was fucking awesome. Raised a lot of goddamn money. So, but I did, man, you hear that story about that good-looking girl down at, is it Old Miss?
Yeah.
Where all the hot chicks are.
There's a lot of them.
Beautiful, blonde-haired, beautiful woman. And I guess there's a rumor that she was dating maybe one of the football players or something.
No, she had a boyfriend. There was a
Yeah.
rumor that she
fucked his
hooked up
dad.
with her boyfriend's dad. So a lot of people picked up on this rumor.
Yeah.
It made headlines all over the internet, and it found its way onto social media. And, you know, she really struggled with this for
I
a long
bet.
time. She wouldn't leave her house. She'd throw up in the middle of the night. She was just dealing with a lot of shit. People put her phone number
Oh, no.
and made that public, and she
Yeah.
was getting thousands
Yep.
of calls and text
Yep.
messages. Well, this finds its way to the internet. It's all over Twitter, Instagram, all that stuff. And I guess Pat McAfee mentioned it on his show.
Yeah.
I don't think he mentioned her by name, but he mentioned, you know, what he had heard of this rumor on his Pat McAfee show, and she's, you know, suing a lot of different people, including him
And maybe
and a local
radio station.
radio
here,
station here in St. Louis, an ESPN station.
Which I think is bullshit.
Well, I'm sure there's a lot of stations that brought it up, and they found and combed through all the different,
Yeah.
you know, and I'm sure there's, I mean, who knows how many people are being named in this lawsuit, Cam?
And you know what? If she didn't do it, like, that is so god awful. You know what I mean?
Well, she didn't do it.
Well, we don't know. But if she didn't do it, then it's like, how did this get going? Who started it? What do you do? How do you sue somebody for like, how do you sue? And I get why you would, but like, what are the guidelines with that? So if Pat McAfee's like, "Yeah, do you hear the story about this girl down?"
I don't know why he would be responsible. I mean, like, he's just,
I know he's
like reading
relaying-
something on the internet, and
just like we
saying-
do,
right?
just like we do. Like, we talked about all kinds of stuff on we see on the internet.
You're probably
is it true?
named in the lawsuit.
I didn't talk about her. I didn't talk about her. I mean, we are now, but if she didn't do it, that's fucking hard to go through that. You know what I mean? That's such a weird thing.
Dude.
Kind of like what happened with Bedard and Corey Perry and that, man. Look what happened there. You know, remember that?
He should sue.
No shit. Like the Blackhawks, like, we're not going to, like, hey, get on that and just make sure everybody knows that Corey Perry didn't bang Connor Bedard's mom. Like, okay, like, can we just like stomp on that right off the bat? You waited a week, it blows up everywhere. That just shows how
come
fast,
Corey
man.
Perry never came out and like said, "Hey, this"?
Because he already fucked up. So what is he going to say? No, I didn't do that, but I did do this. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So he's probably like, stay away, let things heal.
It's just
But if
internet
I'm-
rumors.
But if I'm the GM, what's his name for Chicago?
Kyle Davidson,
Kyle Davidson, I'm like, no. Has nothing. Stomp on that right away.
yeah,
And they
I
didn't.
would have stomped on that.
And they didn't, dude.
Mm-hmm.
And all of a sudden, Connor Bedard's got to go through that. His mom's getting banged out by Corey Perry, who, like, Corey Perry's taking him under his wing and helping him. Then Corey has to get traded. Like, Jesus.
Yeah.
What a fucking mess. It's a lesson to
So
everybody.
you're making the comparison, this girl to Ole Miss to Connor Bedard. That's interesting.
Kind of,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
You know, I feel bad for her, man, if she didn't do it. Like, if you're banging your boyfriend's dad, go fuck yourself. You're
Did
a
you
fucking
see
weirdo.
the video of the teacher
That, what?
with that 15-year-old boy?
She's hot.
There's a lot of stuff going on here. There's a lot of layers here. Her
Yeah.
husband was in the car when she gets pulled over, and she's like, "For what?" And then
Yes, I did see
she
that.
starts going crazy after they explain to her why she's being detained.
Banging a fucking 15-year-old.
And the text messages that are going back and forth. Apparently, she kept like a journal about it. Like, I
Good
don't-
for you. That's what you're supposed to do when you're being shady. Keep a journal. So everybody
No
sees
shit,
it.
so
You
everyone
moron.
knows.
What a moron. It's still not the same as a dude banging a 15-year-old woman. girl. It's just not. I was 15. I was like, fucking
Okay,
wanted
so
every
do you think
fucking
she should
woman.
be prosecuted for
Yeah.
that? Is it rape? Because
No.
they're saying she raped him.
Sure. I'll rape him. You're 15. Fucking a man.
Don't laugh about that.
I'm not.
Don't make you put. No. You're
I
making
want-
me like
If I'm
this
15
is a serious
and she
matter.
wants to date some, I'm like, hell.
So is
goddamn,
it because
yeah.
the headlines say teacher arrested for raping 15-year-old?
God, I remember being young, hanging out with older women, dude. Like older women.
Did they try to rape you?
Can't rape the willing.
Well, I think he was
Can't rape the
texting back
willing.
and forth, but then she's saying that he blackmailed her and like went into her phone and was texting his phone, then erasing the messages on her phone that he was sending from her phone.
Oh yeah, what a mess. Hey, you just don't bang a 15-year-old.
No, you don't.
You just don't.
What's legal? 17, 18?
I think 17 in Missouri, maybe 18.
I think it's different in certain
Yeah.
states, but it's never anything younger than
No,
17 or 18.
No, unless you're in a different country, and that's a different story.
I never had young, hot teachers in high school.
You weren't even looking at them in that way, Andy.
Jesus.
You know,
But
I
we
was like
didn't.
a hound, man. I'm every woman I saw.
Yeah, but we
I'm like,
didn't
oh
have
my.
that. We didn't. We had older
you just
teachers.
weren't thinking it though. It just wasn't in your
What are you
mind.
talking about? If it was-
You weren't that way. You know, you.
because you were around back then.
I just know you. It's all good. I just don't think that you thought of it because the women that my teachers like they probably weren't
Did
even
you
that
have
hot. But I
hot
was
teachers? And
no, but they were okay enough for me
weren't
to be
they
obsessed
old?
with them.
We had old teachers.
Nah, not all of them. Not all of them. Even if she was old, she just was somewhat decent. I'd be like, oh my God. That's just what your mind was when you're full of piss and vinegar at 15, 16 years old. Like, Jesus, they're all hot to me. A woman, I don't care who the fuck you are. Like, you know, you're just like, you're going through that stage where you're just horny, man. Bad.
But are you focused on the teacher versus little Susie who's walking down the hall?
I wanted older women because little Susie's like, the older woman, she knows how to get fucked. And you're kind of like, I want an experience do things to me, you know, like I just feel like at that age, like girls were just weren't they wanted to kiss you and stuff, but like you just look at that, you wanted more, right?
Like
So,
you wanted an experience.
yeah, like it's like a I don't know, it's a weird fantasy, you know,
So-
with an older woman.
So this kid, you know, because they went to the police, the mom found the messages or whatever on the
Yeah.
phone. So she'll go to prison, won't she?
Fuck yeah, God yeah, dude. Well, the biggest story back in the 90s
She
was
just
that
got married in August.
was
dude.
that lady, the teacher that was banging the student, and all of a sudden she goes to jail and gets out, and they get married, and they got like 5 kids. Really weird stuff. Just stay away from that. And you know what? If I had a 15-year-old kid, man, and my teacher was, and I found out that one of his teachers was banging him, I'd be pissed. I'd be like, "What the fuck are you doing, my
If
kid?"
you were who?
If I was the dad and my
Yeah.
15-year-old son was
Dude, I
banging the
would-
teacher, I'd be like, "Fuck this fucking broad."
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
you psycho fuck. You're taking advantage of my kid. Although, if it was me, it's 15. You're not taking advantage.
I
of me,
think
dude.
she's
You
raping
just-
him, dude. I will say that
Sure, maybe.
when he's 15 and
Nah.
you're an adult and you're the teacher.
She's going to jail.
You're the teacher, dude. You're responsible.
When I
and you're
think-
doing this at school.
She took advantage of the
That's fucked
situation.
up.
But rape is more like get over here.
That's how you
Like-
envision like dark alley grab.
Grab, or you're a, like the
Gunpoint.
movie, the program.
You break into the girl's
You
house.
ever see the movie The Program from in the early 90s about these fucking kids at the college, and the big guy with the stories, he takes that girl and he's like, get over here. Ah! Like, that's fucking rape. Like, is this rape with a guy that's he's probably like, fuck yeah, come over here, let's do it. Like, rape, you say rape, man, I put that in a different category. Take advantage of is
Okay.
a different story.
No, I understand.
Jesus, Andy. If it was you, that's probably rape.
She raped me.
Help.
It's not a laughing matter, dude.
No one's laughing.
Because no,
The kid's
You're-
fine. The kid's fine.
it's not a laughing
She's hot
matter.
too. She's hot too. Like, it is what it is. Like, you're 50,
What do you
that's
think
your
it-
fucking dream.
What do you think his buddies are saying?
The fucking hey baby, fuck, what's up? You know. But if it was reverse with a dude and with a little girl, then man, oh man, you're in fucking big time jam. But listen, it's not good either way. Stay away from your students. You can't
Stay
go
away from the students.
How about you go find an 18-year-old somewhere?
How about you you're married?
How about you bang your husband?
Yeah.
Or how about you get divorced and find a fucking somebody?
You just got married in August. Why'd you get married?
Yeah. Yahoo. You know.
You know that girl, was it Amanda Berry?
What about her?
She was rescued. She was in that house in Cleveland with all those women.
3 of them, the 3 girls.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So I saw that the interview popped up again of the neighbor.
the black guy. I see 3 white women yelling.
He's
I'm
like, if I
"There's a
see she
chance."
coming to my arms,
she's in
you
trouble.
knew something was wrong. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that was bad. That was scary. That's scary.
And the other guys,
That's
and
scary,
he's like, no, we barbecue with him all the time. We're hanging out. He had no idea what was going on
They're
inside
in
the
the
house.
basement. Like, help.
Chained in a
They're
cage.
barbecuing, and the girls are like, help. And there's
For
it's just-
years.
Oh God,
He had a kid with one of them.
that happens. Yeah, that happens a lot, dude.
He killed himself in prison,
Good,
in jail.
kill yourself.
Allegedly.
Scum.
You never know. Somebody else may have killed him.
That's the scariest thing in the world. Kidnapping a kid, man.
That's
Jesus
that's
fucking
rape, too.
That's,
right?
That's kidnap, rape, fucking everything combined, dude. A 28-year-old teacher and a 50-year-old student, it's just different. A 28-year-old woman and a 15-year-old boy who's already hitting puberty, it's not good.
Was she 28?
I don't know. She's
I think
probably
she
younger
may
than
have,
that.
may have been younger.
Yeah, younger than that. Okay, then I just look at that differently. Say what you want. I just look at it differently. If it was a guy and a girl, that's different. But a 25-year-old woman and a 15-year-old boy, it's not good. Don't do it. She's going to jail. Is that rape? No, in my
Okay.
opinion.
All right.
She holding them down.
I don't
come
know,
on.
dude, what was going on.
That guy, that 15-year-old could pick her up and throw her across the room if he wanted to.
Maybe.
Get off of me. If I don't want this, get off of me. Not you, though.
I was 105 pounds.
We had to
I think.
protect you. No, you were about 90 pounds, probably 80 pounds. That's why I'm not
At
chirping.
15?
Yeah, that's why I'm not chirping. I'm not chirping. You were probably 80 pounds at 15 years old. Oh, I feel bad. Like, I would have protected you. I would have been your friend. You were 80 pounds. How do you even? I'm not even going to do it. I'm not. No. I'm not making fun of you anymore. Well, it's been tough, man.
Not really.
Fuck, you're walking down the hall, somebody bumps you, you're like, bam! 80 pounds.
Heart of a lion.
Oh. That's Chaser.
Competitor.
That's Chaser. Are you taking that off? Taking that? I called Chaser a heart of a lion.
You did?
Yes, and I think you saw the clip on Missing Curfew, and now you're
Oh,
heart
no,
of a
I
lion.
didn't.
Now you're heart of a lion. He is.
Well, I'm just saying, like,
That's where you got it from. You saw my clip on Missing Curfew.
mhm.
Those guys are great, by the way. I love both of you guys. I had a good time with Uppy all.
I'm just
all
saying
weekend.
when I was playing safety at that age.
You okay?
So,
Man,
three,
that
inter-
must have been tough.
3
dude.
interceptions.
Man, that must have been tough. Fucking 80 pounds.
I wasn't 80 pounds, dude.
Okay.
At 15?
Show me a picture of you at 15. I saw some. Show me a picture of you.
I'll have to find.
You were
I'll find a couple.
tiny.
I don't know if I have any in my phone. My phone's not that old.
Small, slow, and
No.
weak.
No, not slow.
What's the scouting report? Hey, Maddie, what's Andy's scouting report? Small, slow, and weak. Yep, we'll sign him.
Cam, you don't want to know your scouting report.
Oh, what is it? What is it?
Let's get to first form.
What is it?
Well, nobody tried.
I mean, it's
nobody
hard.
tried
It's
harder.
hard.
Than you.
It's
Nobody
hard to
tried-
chirp. It's hard to chirp.
Nobody tried harder.
It's hard to chirp me
The
with that.
guys were chirping you. I'll
Oh
let that.
shit.
They were chirping you.
I mean, here, 30 grand. What'd you do? Did you raise money for them?
Lot of
How'd
money.
you help?
A lot of money.
Did you? What'd you do?
Well, I chased around last week. We
Okay.
promoted the event.
Yeah. On what hockey sense?
Sold a lot.
That
of
did a
tickets.
lot.
We talked about it during the
That
game.
did a lot. We did a good.
What was the final
was
score?
of what?
Who won the game?
big game?
Yeah.
We beat them like 8-5,
Oh, okay.
7-5.
I'm trying to find a picture for you. I'll look for that.
Yeah.
Back when I was 15.
Yeah, you were tiny.
It's my football
It's all good.
picture, I'm pretty sure.
All good.
Firstform.com/Cam and Strick.
I wore my first form hat. All a nice little picture with Kate with it.
What are you taking?
This morning. I did 2 things of my.
I did my vitamins.
I did my vitamins after I eat,
Yeah.
but I also did my the little
Collagen.
hydration packet.
Oh, yeah.
I had 2 of those.
What
this
flavor
morning.
do you like?
I like the cherry ones.
They
I
don't
used to like
have
them.
cherry.
Yeah,
I
they
don't think.
do.
I think strawberry,
Well, fucking shit.
lemon, or citrus.
Or strawberry then.
Yeah.
Strawberry then.
Yeah.
The red packet.
Yeah. Yeah.
Damn good. 2 of them.
Mm.
And then I took my
Like
vitamins.
2 of them in one.
My, no, 2, 1, and then put another one.
Yeah. Dude, there's so
I
many
was so
different.
dehydrated.
The
So dehydrated.
creatine, the collagen. Like your wife may love the collagen too, actually.
She makes protein shakes with it.
Yeah.
Yep, she makes
Yeah.
me protein
It's good
shakes.
for your hair and your
Yep.
nails.
Well, it ain't working for my hair. I'll tell you that right fucking now. My
good
hair
for-
is so
it's not
fucking
good for
terrible. I
cancer.
might have
Yeah.
to shave my fucking head.
Just
dude.
shave it, let it go. Just let it go.
I mean,
Just let it go.
I just might have to shave
Their
my fucking
protein
head.
bars, the apparel, everything is absolutely incredible. Send us your order when you make your order. Take a screenshot of it, and we'll showcase you on our social media.
Damn right, baby.
If you're placing the order with firstform.com/Cam and Strick, use that link, firstform.com/Cam and Strick. Blue Note Roofing, Cam. My boy David Novak.
Oh boy, is he busy?
Yes, he is.
Woo! Lots of stuff going on. You
I'll
guys
tell
got
you, there's a lot of jealous roofers out there. They were giving me shit on Friday night about pumping up Blue Note Roofing and not their roofing company. I'm hearing from a lot of different roofers.
Well, they can go fuck themselves.
We got one guy we support.
we support one guy, man, because he supports us.
Blue Note Roofing.
You know what I mean?
David
That's an
Novak.
easy fucking thing. Well, what are you
Yes,
doing?
Right.
This guy supports us, and we're
Right.
supporting them, and he's the best.
That's right.
Talking shit. How can you use Dave? What do you mean? He's on our team.
Mm-hmm.
Get on with yourself.
Go on with yourself.
Go on now. Go and get.
But Blue Note Roofing, man, they do everything. Soffit, fascia, gutters, siding.
Nasty
Roofing.
weather. Nasty weather.
How does the flooding impact? I bet you they got a lot of gutter work right now, actually.
Yeah. Well, yeah. If your gutters are fucked up,
Yeah.
and all that water fucking seeps down and
Yeah.
goes right into your driveway, that seeps under your garage door. And now your whole garage is flooded because your gutters are all fucked
Yeah.
up. So it all coexists, man.
No doubt.
Even just rain. Doesn't even have to have wind. Rain could screw up your gutters
Yeah.
and really screw up your house too. All that water sits and
Call
pulls
David
up.
Novak today, 314-920-5713. Give him a shout. I could tell you weren't practicing on your dangles from Bolt Sports. You
What,
weren't
should I
working.
had 6 goals in that
You
game?
weren't working on.
What do I do good?
any of
Is there
your
anything I did
skills.
right?
You weren't working on your
I mean,
skills.
so if I didn't do anything, Andy would chirp me. If I get 1 goal, Andy said you should have got 2.
Bolt
If I get
Sports.
4, he's like, you try too hard.
But tell people.
Wasted. I was
Tell,
wasted.
tell people about Bolt Sports.
Oh man, if you want shit, if I would have done that in the locker room before I went out there, whoo, doggy, I would have been toe dragging cats like no other.
Because they've got
Been
the
toe dragging
they
cougars.
got the dangle bars, which you can download the app. It gives you all different like exercises and different drills to do. So you can do
They got
toe
it all.
drags, forehand, backhand, forehand, sauce, flip, blah, 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 all these different things. You got the dangle bars. They come in 3. You can use just 1 if you want. They've got the snipes where the targets you put on the net, they glow up and you hit them and you get points and all that.
Yeah.
So you can
compete
play
with each other
when
too.
somebody else is like in China or something.
China.
Like that. Yeah.
Yeah. China.
The tariffs are not very
We'll see.
popular right now.
We'll see. Oh no shit. They hate Trump. Everything that he does is not popular.
People are protesting.
Everybody bitches about we got to do something with our country, and finally Trump does.
Save it for the close.
Okay.
Save it
I'm
for the
just saying,
close.
like,
No,
it's-
we'll come back to that. Save it for the close.
Let's go then.
Save it for the close. Boltsports.ca. Say hi to Sam.
Sammy boy, how you doing, buddy?
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah, let's go.
TrueFloat.ca. We love our Canadian friends, man. All the Canadians that support us here on the Chemistry
Yeah,
Podcast.
we love it, man. You Alberta guys. man.
TRU Float, man. They make the best
Shit
coolers
kickers.
known to man.
Shit kickers.
Their
dude.
coolers are so nice. Compare their coolers to Yeti.
Yeah, you bunch of pussies, pansy ass. Man, I tell you what, True Float, dude, they're the real deal. Hardcore Alberta strong, right
You
there,
can
baby.
drop this thing over and over. It won't even
won't
scratch
do
or
anything.
dent.
I tell you what, if you went on the river right now in Missouri,
Oh, you'd be
be in a
flying.
jam. You'd be in a jam.
Really? Don't do that
Go
then.
look at the Merrimack
Well,
River.
tell people. There might be people who are listening. Tell them not
no,
to
they're
do
not.
that.
They'll look at the river and be like, "This is
Okay.
horrific."
Yeah, don't do that.
Mm-mm, mm-mm.
For
But
sure.
it is the season right now, baby.
Yeah.
My 4 favorite seasons of the year.
Yeah.
You got Halloween, Christmas, right now.
Thanksgiving.
No, I used to love Thanksgiving, but I love Halloween.
Mhm.
Thanksgiving's okay.
Mhm.
Christmas, you look forward to this time of the year. You got the Masters on this weekend. It's time to go outside.
You're not even.
I'll
watching
watch
that.
the Masters
Will you?
all weekend. Yes, I'm upset. I love watching golf now, dude. I told you that before.
So
I hated it before.
people ask me to play. Do you golf? Do you golf? Do you golf? It's like I
No
need
one
to
does.
like start.
No one
I'm
asks
gonna
you.
just start going out, dude, and just
they ask you to
having
golf.
confidence in my
Sure.
golf. Do you golf? Hey, you golf? It's the hardest question I get. It's like I want to say, yeah,
People
absolutely.
are
I
like, they
wanna
want
go
you to
play.
golf with them so bad, don't they? So it's just golf season, man. It's just the weather's getting better. Tornadoes. I just love this time. What's my next one? I got 4. What's the next one? I got 4. What's my next? I love holiday season.
The fall.
I just said that. What's the other one? Christmas and the spring. What's the next one?
Summer, I guess.
America through and through, baby.
Oh, July
4th of
4th.
July, baby. Let's go. Which
Okay.
we might be up in Gaza Ranch. I talked to goddamn Sheldon Surrey, baby. He's like, come on up.
I know.
He's like, come on up.
Brent Myers sent that text out, but like we were talking about that last week, and he's
I
like,
talked
"Dude,
to
come
Sheldon,
up."
though.
Did he?
He's like, yeah, dude. He's like, come on up, man. We're doing it July 5th.
Doing what?
Hanging out up there. They're all going up there and partying and doing their thing and,
Yeah.
and golfing and doing this and doing that. I'm like, yeah, I'd go up there. Handsome Sheldon Surrey. He came and said,
Was he here this weekend?
Yep. Didn't play, but he came in, hung out.
Yeah. he
Awesome.
didn't- he
Super.
didn't-
Everybody's so cool. Killer Kaminsky,
He'd
I
be,
give you a
he'd
shout
be
out.
Oh, that's my boy. I worked with him. at the
Killer
River
Kaminsky, a
Otters,
little
man.
shout out, baby. I love you, buddy. Ryan Vandenbush, I love you, dude. Man, first time I got to meet you, man. Awesome guy. Ryan Vandenbush.
I don't think Surrey would be bragging about his stats in the charity game.
He's better than me. You know, he's got more money. He's more handsome. He's just everything's better than me. So he's at this level. I'm at still the scumbag level where I got to brag about me scoring 4 goals
In a charity game.
in a charity game
There's nothing wrong with that.
to raise money.
TrueFloat.ca, they also have the heated chairs. You can put your logo right on the cooler or right on the chair cam. That's just
logo
Yeah,
right yonder.
I know.
Look at that.
From the Jersey Generator.
Look at Andy. Look at his ear.
I don't know who,
This is awesome.
how they
This
found
is
it.
I'm sorry. Like I love Chicklets and all Curfew. I love all their stuff. But this is the funniest logo in all of podcasting, in my opinion.
You think?
It's me and you with my gap fucking tooth, Andy's big old ears, little neck. It's the funniest fucking thing. Who made this for us again?
I don't know, but I've never worn a
It's a
V-neck sweater before ever.
No, I know. I love V-neck, dude. I like showing my neck off for some reason, but this
It's all
is
good.
This is my favorite. I'm sorry. I know I'm, biased,
Mm-hmm.
but I think this is the funniest thing ever.
Yeah, you're biased, but it's all good. It's a good logo.
Would you like another logo better than this?
No.
Like, don't you like this one? I mean,
So TrueFloat.ca, get those heated chairs, put your logo on there, get your business logo and send it in and get that taken care of. Jersey Generator, we talked about
Right
them.
here.
See, you can take your own business
Andy's
or
got
your
the
own
C.
company, whatever. I got to see. I'm the captain of the team, baby.
so we got to wear this, dude.
Oh, yeah.
When we skate with the alumni.
And
Bruce
you
will
know,
get pissed.
You
but
know
we
I
gotta-
deserve the C anyway.
On the podcast, I'll
I'm
give
the
it to you.
C.
No,
Yeah.
I'll give it to you.
I'm the C.
I'll give it to you.
You're the A. You're
That's
lucky
fine.
you even have a letter, actually.
Well, I'm lucky to even be on here because Andy could do
you're
this all
lucky
by
to be on
himself.
You're lucky to be on the team.
It'd be freaking an unbelievable podcast. Andy just talked for 2 hours by himself. These are just fucking hilarious, dude. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it
Great
so much.
jersey. So tell
Yep.
Mark you did a great job.
Mark, you did a dang good job, you little entrepreneur, man.
you
We're
little
rooting for you.
entrepreneur.
He is.
Yeah.
He's going to make a ton of money.
I know.
He's a smart
So
dude.
get your jerseys, custom big or men's league, whatever it is,
yeah.
or just for your business. You own a restaurant, you want to put a jersey, hang it up on your
Yeah,
wall
hell
in your
yeah,
restaurant, dude.
of
Let
course.
them make it for you.
Damn right. Jerseys are hockey jerseys.
JerseyGenerator.com. Check out their Instagram too. Jersey Generator. Check out the Instagram. It may be .ca, could be .com. Jersey Generator.
Type it in.
They can do like these type of like sewn on type of stuff too. You know, they
They
can
did
do
a really-
sublimated ones too.
Because it's hard to recreate this logo.
Look at this, man. It's a sweet jersey.
That's a badass jersey, dude. Andy's number 9.
He made one for
It's
Ty.
like
too.
Adam Banks, Mighty Ducks.
Ty got a C on his also.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's cool. Once he gets a little bit older and he skates with alumni, he can wear that.
He can
man.
wear that out
Yep.
there. Yeah.
Yep.
It's a little big on him.
He's got a couple years.
Yeah. So check it out. Hatlaunch.com, baby. Everybody over there at Hat Launch making custom hats. #1 source for customized hats.
Got a lot of
in
people
North
coming up to me
America.
talking about hat launch in this tournament. Say
Really?
we bought some. Phil Maroon to a bunch of other guys.
Oh,
said
wow.
That, yeah.
I like hearing that.
Yeah. Phil's fucking weed company. Damn right. Got a ton of shirts and hats from them. Tons. And then he has another company, he said, that bought a bunch of stuff from him too. So
Okay.
yeah, man. Everybody knows about hat launch right here in St.
Yeah,
Louis.
dude.
Let's go.
Hatlaunch.com, dude. Danny and the whole crew.
But you don't have to be from St. Louis to order.
No,
dude, they'll
dude.
hook you up,
Yes.
man. I'll tell you that right now.
Like in 2 weeks, you'll get your stuff.
Damn right. Got the Yoink Cat going on today.
Yeah.
So
So check that out. Cam at Bellman, you get
swinging
no.
dicks. That's another thing. When I'm walking through the crowd to get on the ice, everybody's high fiving you. They're like, "Yoink, yoink, swinging dicks, no swinging." I heard swinging dicks so many times. A guy had a sign that said "No swinging dicks" in the stands. I saw it all. They love fucking Bellman out in Tri, Missouri, baby. They love it. They love it, man. They got damn good cars up there. I'll tell you that right now.
They got
baby.
sushi and flavored water too, which everyone knows that.
No one said that when we walked by.
Oh, I've heard a lot of
Nobody
people
said
say
that.
They're like
They
screaming.
said swinging dicks,
They're
baby.
screaming it at me.
And right when you say swinging dicks to me, I'm like, automatically we're buddies. Like, let's go. You get it.
Yeah.
You get the game. Nobody said sushi and flavored water.
Yeah, they
Not
do.
one person.
Oh, they all do.
Not one person.
Yes, they do.
Not one person.
And they also asked me to go golfing with them too. So,
God.
you golf?
You golf?
I hate it when they ask me that because, like, I want to say yes so bad. It's
Do you
like
want me to post a video
the
again?
Nicest,
Do you want me to post a video
the
again?
nicest courses.
Do you want me to
dude.
post a video game? Video again. Do you want me to
From
post?
Old Warson to Boone Valley?
Do you want me to post that video you again? Because
You golf?
Because I will, and I'll show them that. I will show them. that.
I
They might invite you out because that's so goddamn funny.
do golf. Yes, I do golf. Well, yes, I do. As a matter of fact,
I'm a 7.
I'm a 1.
I'm a 1. I'm
I'll-
a 7
I'll
or
give
8. It just depends on the day.
Mike Murphy, Blues chiropractor. He and Marty just won a member guest in Florida.
Yeah, they're damn good. Marty's damn good. They golf a lot, dude.
How do I get to be that? You got to golf every day, all day.
You gotta be athletic too.
I saw somebody today who's saying they are going to golf every day for the entire summer and see if they can get to be a scratch.
I heard. Who was that?
I don't know. Somebody said that.
Okay. Cool story. A lot of people say that and they don't achieve it.
Cam, Illinois Recovery Center.
Swansea, Illinois, right there, baby. Swansea, Illinois. They will help you. They want to help you. Jakey Miller, and of course, Chrissy Pondoff, Eric Conley. They're there. They're waiting. They will help you. There's a warm bed
There's a
waiting
bed waiting
for you,
for
man.
you.
There's a warm bed waiting for you right there in Swansea, Illinois.
I had a great conversation with Kenny Daniels, longtime play-by-play guy of the Detroit Red Wings. Great play-by-play announcer. Loves the show, listens to the show, and he's been through some stuff too, man. Does a lot of great charity work, but been through some stuff
He
personally
understands
with
it.
family members and
You
everything.
understand it. Yep.
He gets it.
I talked to Killer about it, Kaminsky about it.
Okay,
What
good.
he went through, and
Where's
a
he
lot of
living
guys.
at nowadays? Like South Carolina or something?
I
Where's
think
he?
he's coaching down in Louisiana or
Somewhere
somewhere
down
Yeah,
there,
down
south.
south. Good old boy down the
Dude,
bayou.
he was tough for
He's
the
awesome.
Washington Capitals.
God, he's a nice guy. They're all
Super
nice,
guy.
man. I love
so
all
he
these
coached
guys.
the River Otters, dude. He
Yep.
and Mark Reeds were tight in the number.
That's right.
And when I was doing the color commentating for the River Otters back in the day, riding in buses.
I didn't say anything.
Probably could have played in that league.
He probably could have. Could have played in any league, Andy.
Any league I wanted
Being
to.
80 pounds.
You put your name, put your mind to it.
Yeah.
But Illinois Recovery Center can.
It's right there in Swansea, Illinois, man. They will help you. Trust me on that. I know these people firsthand. IRC.
IRC.com, IllinoisRecoveryCenter.com.
Check them out and do it now.
Yeah. They bring us this interview. Buccigross, man.
Yeah.
Hey, the Frozen Four's around the corner. Does a lot of great stuff. Obviously, he was the first one to really talk about Wayne Gretzky's record being broken by Alexander Ovechkin several years ago, the goal-scoring record.
All right,
And,
put that out today. I saw a little post.
About Bucci?
Yeah, he said Bucci called this fucking years
He
ago.
did, dude.
Yep, he did.
And he
talked
joins us
about it.
now on the Cam and Strick podcast.
Let's go.
Bucci, baby. The Cam and Strick podcast is brought to you by First Form, baby. Use our link and do it today. www.firstform.com/camandstrick.
Get jacked now. They are the real deal.
Get that protein, check out the apparel, eat those bars, and drink those energy drinks. Firstform.com/camandstrick.
Yeah.
Now on to the interview.
You're not flying private, Bucci?
Not yet. Next contract, another 12-year deal with the NHL and ESPN. Let's go.
Yeah,
let's go.
exactly. What are we shaking up
What do
there?
you got? We didn't say record,
You
by
got
the
a
way.
protein shake there or what?
What do you got?
This is creatine, beef collagen, and some sort of testosterone boosting grass something I just got on Amazon.
Oh shit,
Dude, you gotta go to firstform.com.
Yeah, you do, man.
It's one of our. They're huge.
First form.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Tell me
man.
what you like. We'll send you some.
No
We'll send you a
shit.
care package.
Yes.
So you can try it out.
I just told you what I like and a pre-workout.
Okay.
Creatine,
Beef collagen.
beef collagen, and I forget the pine something. It's like I just saw it's like a yellow powder. I forget, but it's allegedly to boost testosterone.
We're gonna send you a package, and
Thank you.
you're gonna send us some Bucci Overtime Challenge
Deal.
hats so we can wear those on
What do you?
during our shows.
Well, okay, what do you eat? Are you a picky eater? Are you eating shit? Are you eating candy? Are you just like strict as fuck?
No, I'm not I'm not real strict. I'm pretty strict. I'm 90% strict, you know.
Like give me an example.
When I'm home, I'm pretty strict. When I'm home, it's eggs, beef, and fish. And nothing out of a can or a box.
Okay.
When I'm on the road, I'll get mozzarella sticks and I'll get a nice cheeseburger. And I'll get, But so yeah, when I'm home, I'm a nice routine. I like routine. I'm kind of routine driven, and so I kind of go with it. But on the road, I like to have fun. And
Red wine?
I'm more of a bourbon guy, but
Bourbon.
Italian food, red wine, but otherwise, yeah.
Are you
And
making
cheese-
are you
and cheese
making
breakfast.
are you making steak every day?
Every day I have a steak for lunch after my workout.
Motherfucker. And he doesn't eat meat.
No, I do.
No,
I just had a
you
first
don't.
form beef stick just now.
No, you don't. It's all
The
good.
cheddar one.
See, look at him. Look at his body. Think about it. You look more of an athlete than anybody in your position. I feel like if I looked at you, I'm like, you're an athlete for sure.
Steak's a multivitamin. It's just packed with vitamins. People don't realize how many vitamins and minerals it has. They think it's like junk food for some reason. How it was marketed. Same with eggs.
And people, I know guys that eat meat for everything, which I can't do. But I mean, for lunch, for dinner, for breakfast, everything, just meat. And they lose like 20 pounds and they're just cut up. I'm like, Jesus.
Yeah.
So I can't do that, but it works,
Yeah, it does.
They had an egg shortage around here, though, Bucci.
Well, they killed a bunch of chickens because of the bird flu.
I know. I haven't experienced any egg shortages, any stores I've gone to down here or in Massachusetts. So I escaped the egg shortage, thankfully.
Where are you from originally?
I was born in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and until I was graduating college, I always lived within an hour of Pittsburgh because my dad was a Sears store manager, and he got transferred about every 8 years. So 3 homes around Pittsburgh, and then I came to New England right after college to start my TV career. I always grew up in poor economic, depressed kind of areas, mining towns, steel mill towns. But my dad was good at his job, so he made the store still work. So I realized let's go with New England where they're doing really well and everything, and I'll hang out there.
Not the Rust Belt.
Yeah, the Rust Belt wasn't a great future. There's opportunities, but and plus all my family's from Boston. My parents both from Boston. Every relative, whereas my parents were the only ones who left. So that was kind of the family place for me.
Yeah, I don't know. I always thought you were like a New England guy for some reason,
Well, I am in terms of, like I said, all my family. And my dad took one vacation every year for 2 weeks, and we drove the Buick to Boston to visit all their relatives. That was my only vacation I had growing up.
I took my family to Cape Cod
Who
2
cares?
summers ago. Whale watching. We couldn't get in the ocean though, Bucci. There's like sharks everywhere.
There are sharks now. They eat the seals, and it's good stuff. Yeah, I live in Plymouth, Massachusetts. That's where I live most of the time. That's the last town before Cape Cod. So that's where I am in the summer. And eventually, I want to be here 7 months in Naples and 5 months in Plymouth. So
I thought you were a California dude, man. I don't know why. I thought your personality, your look. You look like an actor.
I am kind of a free spirit, so I would fit in California.
What do you do in Florida, though? Do you got a boat? Are you fishing? Are you an ocean guy? Or are you just golfing all the time?
No, I don't golf. I golf when I can down here. I don't belong anywhere. So I just kind of come down there to enjoy the weather, maybe go to the beach. I don't have the fishing gene. I'll go out in the ocean and fish, but I'm not a hardcore fisherman. I don't have that gene for patience and waiting.
You're making that Stephen A. Smith money. That's what's happening. That's why you're down in Florida right now,
I bought at the right time down here. I bought 13 years ago, and I should have bought 2 of them.
Yeah.
They've tripled in value.
I love the fact that you can get away and do that, man.
Yeah, man.
It's nice. Yeah, that's what's good about us getting hockey is we have these little pockets.
Yeah.
I can, and zip down. And plus we get all the miles from doing games. So I got Delta miles from work. I got my own JetBlue miles I buy everything with my JetBlue card. And so between those 2, I can fly down here pretty much for free.
So what's the schedule in terms of balancing like Sports Center, ESPN duties versus ESPN play-by-play? Are you strictly play-by-play right now during hockey season?
And studio. Like last night we call them wraps. When you do pregame, in between periods, postgame, we call it wraps. You kind of wrap around the game from the studio. So I do that and play-by-play from October through the Stanley Cup. Then I've done the last 3 drafts. I never know if I'm going to do it again. But so yeah, I'm pretty much only hockey October 1 to July 1. And then those 4 months, July, August, September, then I'm available for sports centers. But I make sure I take all of my vacation. I'm up to 5 weeks now, some personal days, all in those 3 months. So I give myself a semblance of an old school vacation where I don't have to, do as many sports centers because I don't want to be up till 1 a.m. anymore.
So Bucci, the Red Wing fans got mad at you at the draft last year. Although you're not wrong. I saw them play again last night. They're probably not making the playoffs again. So poor Detroit Red Wings.
I just thought it would be cool for Yzerman to take Yzerman. I didn't, who knows how good these guys are going to be. I didn't really kill them. I said it would just be kind of cool. Who did they end up taking? I can't even remember. But
they took the kid from the Norwegian or whatever, right? The first ever pick out of Norway. And,
Oh,
and for
really?
the record, I follow everything. I was at the draft. I never even heard of that until I was doing my research to have you on today. So it's like, it wasn't that big of a deal. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It didn't blow up that big. We had to research that shit.
It's like, okay, it's no big deal. I like what you said, though. Is I could tell you were completely joking, man. That's the problem sometimes. You're doing television, live TV. Nobody has a sense of humor anymore, man. I mean, you were having fun with it, in terms of taking an American versus another European.
Oh, that's what I said. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. I am. I'm pro-American when it comes to hockey, and we are the little guy. We're the underdog. So like to see my boy do well. But sometimes when you're in live TV and you're talking a lot, like I said, sometimes things don't come out in the exact formation, but sometimes they do, and you're just trying to get a rise out of people. That is our job. You don't want to be boring, so you just want to, but not that I say things to incite things like first take or something. When I say something, I mean it. So I'm not making stuff up.
All these years watching the NFL draft, you have Mel Kiper's. He's gotten himself in so much shit. Like you gotta have it.
Right.
You gotta say things like, who cares, man? You mean, create headlines.
They pay us for not me, but him and other people. They pay them for an opinion. ESPN wants them to make a firm opinion. They're coached up that way, and so obviously sometimes they go too far and they take it too personal, or they do whatever. But they do want a strong opinion from their analysts.
Is there any time where you're like, listen, I don't have an opinion on this goddamn topic, but I got to do it anyway, and you're like, damn it?
No, I don't do that. No, I won't. If I don't have an opinion, I don't have an opinion. And like that's true for politics and life and sports. Like you don't have to have an opinion for everything. And there's fewer things I even want to have an opinion on. So I'm getting more and more narrow in my opinion outtake.
Listen,
output.
I get you.
Bucci, I remember 2010 Stanley Cup Final. You were very nice to me. You don't remember, but I came up to you and we talked about maybe the future of ESPN getting the NHL back. I was telling Cam, I was like, this guy was so nice to me back then. Everybody was, man. I mean, Brian Englund was, Barry was always super nice, Steve Levy, everyone's always nice. You know what I mean? So it's good to have nice people back in the NHL, but during that stretch.
That was Flyers Hawks, right?
It was Flyers Hawks,
yeah. Because Levy and Melrose always go. Since we lost hockey in 2004, Levy and Melrose go to the finals every year. Well, that in 2010, Levy had twins, and so for the first 3 games, I got to go for the finals. And after 3 days old, he was sick of his twins, and he went back to the Stanley Cup Finals to finish the series. But I got to do the first 3 games that year. The only Stanley Cup Finals I covered from 2004 to 2022 because Levy had twins during it.
Wow. No, I remember talking to you specifically, but during that stretch where ESPN didn't have the NHL, were you like? Did you enjoy doing everything else, and were you thinking this would ever happen again?
I think it was good for me because then I got to do. If we had hockey the whole time, I would have stayed in a hockey lane, which would have been fine and great. But because I got on Sports Center, it and I kept ascending pretty well, and they ended up on the 11 o'clock for most of last decade. Your pay goes a lot higher. I start doing commercials because through ESPN there. And whether it's Liberty Mutual or whether it's Bud Light or Coors Light, so you do all those commercials. We all get anytime you see a Sports Center person do a little extra commercial, they get paid for that, and so that was good. So and also I was running my column at the time, which was my favorite thing I've ever done at ESPN. I wrote an ESPN.com hockey column from 2001 to 2017, 16 years. And it was because it was mine. I could do whatever I want. I was the producer, the director. I just wrote all 5,000 words a week and turned it in, and I could do anything and create it. And once we lost hockey, I felt like I could be more bold because they're not a partner anymore. And I could really let it fly and criticize if I had to and really cover it. So I was kind of glad in that way it went away. So in the end, I think it worked out perfectly. And then when it came back, just as I get older and you're looking for career longevity and you might be farmed out to pasture, we get it at just at the perfect time. And, back in 2021, and I signed a new 4-year contract. So I have 13 months left on this contract. So again, had it not come back, maybe I would have been one of the, we've had 4 job cuts now since I've been there. 2017 was the first one, I think, 2016, 2017. I could have been one of those cuts if we didn't get hockey back. So everything worked out perfectly. I've been there 28 years now.
That's crazy.
It all worked out perfectly, to have it in the beginning, to get a niche, to then start the hockey column, and then for it to leave, and then me start doing Sports Centers up, then get involved in college just because we didn't have any hockey. Can I start calling these college games? Yeah, sure. Go to Worcester all you want, kid. Go to Springfield, go to Bridgeport. And then in 2012, my contract was up, and I said, I want to start doing the Frozen Four. Can we put that in my contract? Yeah, sure. So 2013 was my first Frozen Four, and this will be my 12th. So that's to get to call a national championship in America. To me, that's a big deal, because an NCAA champion in any sport, football, basketball, gymnastics, golf, bowling, they're all like life-defining moments for these athletes. You never forget that, and you're the one who gets to be the soundtrack for it. That's a huge honor and a privilege, and cool.
Man.
Yeah, I get that.
Who's your best friend at ESPN? Like over the years, like that you hang out with, that you'd call up and be like, "Hey, let's go out and let's have a couple
listen
drinks."
to you, that's not going to talk behind your back, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, when I first got there, it was so cool. I was 30 years old and I was hired there, and there was just a pack of us who all got hired basically for ESPN News. We're like the expansion team.
Yeah.
And there's like 10 to 15 of us, all about that age, 28 to 33. And, I already had 2 kids. I started kind of young, and other people started to have kids. So that group, but then it ends, and eventually we all joined the same golf course. And because we worked nights and weekends, we could just go to the course 10 o'clock in the morning every day and play and have these matches. It was awesome. And that was 1997. And one day I was up there in the putting green in 2004. There's putting, and I realized everybody's gone. Everybody had left, whether on their own volition or they weren't kept by ESPN when their contract was up. That was really weird. I was like, oh my gosh, that group's all gone. And then your kids get older and you're going to their games. And so I really, after that, I really didn't do stuff outside of work with, obviously Anderson and Van Pelt and Levy, that's my generation, our sense of humor, our sensibilities. We're all kind of like children of David Letterman's humor,
Yeah.
And so we're all a lot alike, but we really don't, at that point, I kind of stopped hanging out outside of work with people I work with. And then, so now that's what's good about hockey too. It's like a small family, a small department. So it's great flying to games. Callahan flies to games. We meet up and then we, go out and have dinner, grab a drink. Next day, do the game. After the game, grab a drink. It's just like an athlete in a lot of ways. Maybe less drinking these days for athletes, and we drink more. But so that I enjoy that camaraderie now with Callahan and Ferraro and Weeks and AJ and Emily, and it's really fun because that once. The last 15 years of SportsCenter, it's become kind of like a Walmart, and every show is just kind of, doesn't really have a definition, beginning, middle, end, which I like doing television and anything. Again, that's how my brain works. I like a beginning, a middle, and an end. And SportsCenter is often a post-game show now, especially SportsCenter at night. And so it's not as fulfilling as it used to be, where the hockey games, it's fulfilling. It's the beginning. We have a pregame show. It's a middle, the game, and then the final. And then, boom, we talk about it afterwards. So it fits my brain and personality really well.
So, wait, and I love Ryan Callahan, man. I played with him and won a championship in golf with him.
Are we doing the show now, or are we just?
We've been doing it.
He said we hit record and we just go.
Yeah, no, we're not wasting your fucking time.
You may have missed that when you were shaking your protein shake.
You're in goddamn Florida. I'm not wasting your time, dude.
Yeah,
you kidding me?
I got nothing to do. It's just late afternoon. All I gotta do is go in the hot tub and grab a beer before my nap.
No, see,
are you like, when are these guys gonna start the goddamn interview?
We're already 20 minutes in, dude. Hey, but Callahan though, look, you've watched hockey, man, and you've seen every second of games, and but when you work with a guy like Callahan, do you learn stuff from him? Does he say some stuff where you're like, God damn, I didn't realize that?
He definitely picks up definitely his things, like the pass off pad thing. I never really had heard that before, or someone articulated it like he did, POP. And of course, I always saw it, and I knew guys did that on purpose. But just the terminology, that's why hiring guys like him who just retired, they're so valuable. And so, because they still have teammates who are in the league, they have the terminology, the coaches, and so I really enjoy working with him. And I've always kind of, even when I was like a good high school athlete, that's like my max. But I always thought the game, I could see everything. I paid attention to everything. Nothing got by me. And that's the same way. Like I'll watch some of my highlights when they run them on the NHL app. I like to watch the synopsis to see how my goal call was, how it sounded, and to see that little 5-minute little thing they do on the app every day for all the games, condensed and then recap. And a lot of times you'll hear me yell score like before the crowd cheers. Like I can see the puck go in really.
Yeah.
Like I anticipate well, and I can see it go in. And I'm like yelling score before the crowd because I have a great viewpoint. I am obviously laser focused. I'm not on my phone. I'm not grabbing a beer. I'm not whatever. I don't have a bad angle. I have a good angle. But so I really enjoy that, and that's why someone like Callie and Ferraro, I like to push them, and they push me, and I really like to take it to a high level of really seeing what's happening. That's how I watched sport as a kid. Again, I grew up when there weren't phones and distractions, and you could not watch a play, especially when you went to a game, because there's no jumbotron for a replay. That didn't really happen until I was like 15. So when you went to a game, you were absolutely laser focused. And I remember, my dad would take me to games in Pittsburgh a couple games a year. And I would sit there, and we're way high and kind of in the middle. It was good view in the old Civic Arena. And when the clock got to 10 minutes to go and 9:59 in the second period, I used to get so depressed because the game was more than halfway over now. And I was so sad that I would have to go, that the game was that it was more than halfway over. I just loved it so much. I loved to smell the old Goal program. They used to sell at the games. It's like $2. It was called Goal with a beautiful picture in front. I love the smell of that thing, and just the game. I can still remember sit as a 9-year-old kid watching these Philadelphia Flyer, Pittsburgh Penguin games, Boston Bruin games, because my dad was a Bruins fan, being from Boston. And so I was laser focused. That's what I bring now. When I broadcast the game, I like to point out the little details, the cool breakout pass by the defenseman. I like to celebrate that. As well, to really kind of build that momentum of the game.
Yeah. I mean, you're watching Mario. No shit, you were worried about the game being over too quick, right? I mean, like
right.
You're going a lot in the '80s, right? Like when he came on the scene.
Yeah, he's about my age. So yeah, we're right about the same age. So I'm talking even late '70s. That's when I really, like I said, I was lasered at 8, 9 years old, really at an elevated way. And I collected hockey cards at home, and I would play obviously the table hockey, and I would play in my kitchen, and obviously play with using the legs of a living room table. We didn't have mini sticks and mini nets back then. You had to come up with your own stuff. So so I was always from a young age. Plus, I listened to a lot of games on the radio because my dad was a Bruins fan. And back then, you could get the Boston radio station in Pennsylvania clear as a bell. They were called Westinghouse Broadcasting. St. Louis had one, Boston had one, and Pittsburgh had one. I was already close enough there, but you could get these stations crystal clear at night. There's no cell phones yet. There's no copy machines. There's no anything yet in the sky. So it was crystal clear. And so I would invent the game in my head. When you're a young kid and you listen to games on the radio, it sounds menacing. It sounds all the fights and Maple Leaf Gardens and the Spectrum, and it just sounded so menacing. It always reminded me of church. Like when you walk into church, you see a dude crucified on a cross, and there's an organ, there's this big church, and these arenas look like churches. So for me, it was this Gothic religious experience going to hockey games. That's why
it's like reading a book
so deep in my head.
It's your imagination thinking
exactly.
like, wow.
Yeah.
So you absolutely inflate everything, and so the blood is 10 gallons, not a drip. It's and the broadcasters did a great job. They were by themselves. There was no analyst on the radio. When I was a kid, it was like this one guy with this cigarette bourbon fused voice that would just scream out the game, and he would just tell this story and do everything all by himself. Bob Wilson for the Bruins, and Mike Lang for the Penguins, and Dan Kelly in St. Louis. I could get him on KMX. So it was a great way to grow up when you love sports.
Yeah, no doubt. No, KMOX, man, I worked there for a long time. That's where one of my first radio jobs. Yeah. And we'd get calls from people like in Saskatchewan, and even like players that were playing for the Blues in the '80s. Their parents could like go up to the top of the hill and listen to the game on the radio.
Yeah, right. The higher you went, the better reception it was.
I know. Hey, what do you like from your color commentator? Because I'm listening to NHL Network Radio on the way into the studio today, and it's like they're kind of being critical of PK. In a way, it's like they're like, he just didn't stop talking last night.
Is that what they said?
Because he's doing color, but he just doesn't stop talking. Like, we're not used to having that from the color commentator. Normally, the play-by-play guy, he owns the microphone, then the whistle blows, and now the color comment. He's like having a conversation throughout the course of the game, and they're like, we've never heard this before. You know what I mean? Like Doc Emmerich would like literally like cut your microphone probably off if you were doing that.
Yeah.
Dan Kelly would probably do the same thing. Just hearing those stories. I've been working with the son John forever, who does a great job.
Yes.
So what do you like from would that annoy you? Like, would you tell your color guy, like, listen, can you just like calm down for a little bit so I can call the game?
Well, I don't like podcasts during games for sure. Cause certainly if you're watching a big NFL game and Pat Mahomes goes back to pass, there's no way you would hear in that sport, the broadcasters having a conversation about what happened 10 minutes ago, an issue in the NFL. And so, a lot of times that's my big thing when a play's happening and they're talking about something that happened like 90 seconds ago or 30 seconds ago. So I do like the building of drama. Certainly you can get in and get out. Ferraro obviously does it very well. Callahan does it very well. Yeah, PK, that's probably the most popular question I get right now, when I go out in public and I see people and you meet people and if they're hockey people especially, it seems like 50 to 75% ask me, so what's PK like? Like, he's really kind of this polarizing figure. And I tell them he's got so much energy that is unbelievable, like the amount of energy he has. He's a good guy. He can take a joke. He's not an egomaniac. He's not thin-skinned. He's not a baby. I can needle him, and he respects his elders. And I know Mess loves laughing with him when he's on set. But yeah, the game, he probably needs coached up a little bit. He probably needs to tighten it up a little bit.
Yeah.
and try to get in, get out. But that's, and he's got a good mind. He can find words as he's talking. That's one of the skills of television and radio, is as you're talking, making a point, you're thinking 3-4 words ahead to not only make your point, make it concise, try to find a good word, avoid any kind of malaprop or, double entendre. If you're able to see in the future a little bit and pick out words, that's kind of the job, and he's good at that. And but yeah, and he's in the studio, keeps getting better and better. And I think another thing is people expect so much of him so soon. You go look at Barry Melrose and Ray Ferraro's first 2-3 years in television. They don't sound like they sound now, and before Barry retired, and the way Ray is like one of the best analysts in all of hockey now, they didn't sound that way then. So you got to give him time to grow and learn. He's gotten this platform, but yeah, doing games is different than studio, and he'll get coached up and he'll learn. And where he was last night too, when you do Islander games, you're right by the fans. Some of these places, they bring us down lower, and the fans are all around you. They have access to you, and I'm sure he's getting distracted, and everyone wants to take a picture with him. And New Jersey, the Islanders, Pittsburgh, there's like a bar behind you.
Yeah.
So it can be a little tough, but so it can be, you can definitely get distracted a little bit. But I'm bullish on PK, and I think he'll keep growing and really bring a lot to the game.
Yeah, and I like what you guys are doing, but I will admit I was a little critical of ESPN during the Four Nations that they didn't have a USA Hockey representative on the desk.
There you go.
Like you had Messier, you had
right.
PK.
Think about it.
And
Good point.
that should be an American broadcast, because if you watch the Canadian broadcast of the Four Nations, that's like a Canadian broadcast. And it's one of the first questions Levy said to Messier and PK. And the first game was like, what do you remember about representing your country? And they're showing pictures of them playing for Team Canada and their parents being in the military for Canada. And I'm like, where are all the Americans? And we actually talked to Mike Richter about that, because he did a TNT game, I think. But so next time you talk to the bosses, when you get to the international competition,
Bucci.
bring in Big Walt, bring in Dougie Wade, Mike Modano,
better represent.
even Patrick Kane, see if he would want to do it, so we have some American representation,
I think Madonna would have been the one, like you said, bring him in, put a third guy on the set, have a USA represent. I think that's a fair criticism, absolutely. And for sure, yeah, I mean, we have a pretty deep Canadian roster.
Yes.
We might have more Canadians than Americans. I don't know, because we got Ferraro, we got Cassie Campbell and Messier and PK, and they add up. Maybe we got them by a little bit, but I think that's a decent criticism, I think.
Yeah, it's not even criticism, you know what I'm saying? But I want somebody to be able to speak on their experience representing USA.
We
because they
criticize them
all
a little
live
bit.
here now, right? I mean, Messier lives here and PK lives here, so they certainly live in America.
Yeah.
But like you said, part of this tournament and part of international tournaments is the lineage and what that first, going back when these kids played when they were 16, 17, 18, 19. So to have a little bit of American perspective on the set is fair. It's fair.
Yeah. Bucci, you had Dwayne Wade as the color commentator for USA Olympic basketball. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's like they didn't have that's all I was saying, but it's all good. That's not even criticism.
No,
That's just,
we notice it. It's all good.
Yeah.
But I will say this, though. Even if you are a Hall of Fame hockey player, man, and you might have the biggest personality in the locker room, but to have the camera on your face and to break down games and really be able to watch it and it makes sense, it's a different animal, dude.
See it all the time.
It's a different skill set. The guys who interview well get the first chance. Like, Keith Jones was a great guy in the locker room.
Yes.
He would just sit there, hold court, hysterical, amazing sense of humor. He has to retire because of his knee, comes up to ESPN to get into television because like, oh, that guy could be good because he interviews great. He's funny. And so they brought him up and I did his very first game. It was an ESPN2 game and we're, coming up 10 seconds and just a quick pregame. We did raps. Like I said, like last night, we come up, we get a quick comment from him. Then hey, after this, the opening face-off. This is a real quick segment. And I turned to him, all right, Keith, what about tonight's Ranger-Flyers game? And he looked at me and he's sweating. He's pale. He looked at the camera, just flubbed something out. And I'm like, oh, thanks, Keith. We'll be back after this. And I remember looking at him. He goes, man, this is a lot harder than it looks. Because like you said, you have to, okay, now be after the game, you're sweaty, you're comfortable, your shirt's off. It's like you can just kind of talk for 10 minutes and they'll take the best 2 minutes. With TV, you have 20 seconds to say something interesting, funny, in a relaxing way. And it just stunned him. So eventually he went back to Philly, did a lot of local stuff in Philadelphia for the Flyers broadcast. Came back that playoffs, because then we're on 7 days a week. We need more people on the roster than just at the time, Barry Melrose. And he came back and he was like a whole different guy. He figured it out. And it really mirrored his NHL career, how he just figured it out. He played junior B when he was 18 years old, but eventually he figured out how to play hockey without being the best skater, with being the 10th best guy in Brantford when he went back for summer skate. Like, why aren't these guys in the league? I'm like, why am I in the league? But he figured it out, and he figured out TV. So if any player who happens to be watching this, maybe still playing or thinking about doing it, like you said, it's not as easy as it looks. And you just got to be prepared that, okay, I need to say something interesting in a short amount of time, concise, have a decent enough vocabulary, funny, be natural. Yeah. And again, same with Paul Bissonnette. Paul Bissonnette wasn't like he is now when he first started. Mm-hmm. He developed a persona, especially, Spit and Chicos really allows you to do that because you can just say, or any kind of podcast, because you can just be yourself nowadays, right? You can be authentic. You can drop F-bombs and not get fired. When I came in this business, if you drop an F-bomb, you're fired.
You're done. Gonzo, baby.
Thankfully, we we kind of relaxed our language and the sensitivity to language occasionally. So he's able to create a persona, and that's all this is. It's kind of like acting. You're creating a personality, a persona, so you're authentic, but you're still projecting. You're trying to get better. You're trying to increase your vocabulary. You're trying to see the game in a different way, project the game in a different way. Don't sound like everybody else. Be yourself, and then just really. And what I always found that if I just show people how much I love the game, how much I watch the games, how much I love the history and study the rules and all that stuff. If you do that, it'll come out and they'll like you because they know you love the game and watch the games, respect the game, and the game just kind of, like it is right now, just talking, it just fires me up. It's like it gets my blood flowing, it gets my heart.
I see your muscles twitching, baby.
It's not the beef collagen. It's just talking hockey.
Eating meat.
Hey, when Michael Jordan started dropping F-bombs on during the Last Dance on ESPN, and then Doug Armstrong came on here, he dropped an F-bomb or two. I'm like, I think we got the green light to kind of say whatever you want. Hey, but I'm curious at ESPN, how often are you calling up producers? Are you saying, hey, listen, you got to get this in. You got to give hockey some love. This is a great storyline. And does it bother you that shows like First Take, for example, that are so popular, and I get the popularity of the NFL and the NBA and all of that. Listen, I'm a huge football fan too, that they just completely ignore hockey? Or are you okay with that? It is what it is. What are you going to do? McAfee will talk some hockey,
He does. He's been great. He's been great for the NHL for sure. Right. That's been the challenge for hockey on all platforms. It's better now because of guys like you and podcasts. That vacuum's not there anymore. There's plenty of places for you to get hockey content. It always, even back when there wasn't, before the podcast boom, I always found it interesting. Like, what do you care if they talk about it or not? Because you could find it elsewhere. There's a lot of stuff to read on the internet, and there's videos and there's podcasts. What do you care if they talk about it? You have so many options to listen. But before that, like you said, I'd be there doing SportsCenter. This is post 2004 when we lost the NHL, and I would fight for stories But it would bother me. I'm an emotional person. I was hyper competitive as a young person, and almost embarrassingly so sometimes. Mm-hmm. But over time, I realized, as you get older, that's what's great about getting older. And it's okay. I'm not gonna let it bother me anymore. I'll keep fighting for it. But over time, they really started to respect my opinion, and they always have. Producers are always looking for help and content. ESPN, no one produces more media than we do. It's not even close. We do more in one day than any other company does the entire year. When you factor in all of our networks, like it's not even close. So they're very open to ideas. This is right from Mike McQuaid, who runs everything, right on down. They're very receptive to creative ideas, and I've always given them too very freely and unabashedly and not afraid. I think we should do this. And if they don't, fine. But yeah, there was often a vacuum with talk radio and certainly the ESPN daytime shows, the debate shows and other networks. Yeah, hockey doesn't get the love. It still doesn't. But like I said, because of people like you and all the podcasts, and like I said, McAfee does a pretty good job in the afternoon, then now there's plenty of places to get your hockey content. You're not searching for it. And you don't need someone whether it's Good Morning America or whether it's First Take or whether it's a Fox show. If they don't talk about your sport, so it doesn't affect my love of the sport and doesn't affect my self-esteem for the sport, and I don't need that to make me feel good about my sport, that it's more popular. It just doesn't affect me.
Well, they don't know what they're talking about anyway, so who cares?
Right. I don't want someone with a misinformed opinion. It's like Mike and the Mad Dog in New York. That was the most popular radio show there in the early 2000s. And when they started talking about the Rangers and Islanders and Devils, they didn't know what they talked about. So why would you want to hear them talk about stuff they obviously don't watch?
No shit. Hey, has there been anybody that either you thought was going to be unbelievable that retired, some former player, and then he comes in the booth and it just didn't work out, or a guy that was really good, but the hierarchy didn't like him because maybe he was a little too much and he didn't get the job?
Huh. That's interesting. I mean, yeah, since I've only done play-by-play now the last 3 years, and everybody that I work with, I love and enjoy, and that's a good question. In terms of hockey,
were you there when Tony Twist had his?
Jesus,
when
Murphy.
Tony Twist, I think he interviewed Gary Bettman.
That's our boy, by the way. That's our boy.
We had Twister way back in 2001 NHL Tonight.
Yeah.
We went out afterwards, and he opened up a beer with his eye socket. That was really cool. In a tank top at the local Bristol bar. That was awesome. I love Twister. So and Twister was great. But he was way ahead of his time. Like, he needed a podcast back then.
He did.
And let it rip. He wasn't made for commercial cable television in 2001.
What's Chaser say? He's smart enough to run the bank, but he's rather rob it instead. We'll see him this weekend, that's for sure.
Yeah. We had Chaser and Twister in there. That was fun. We get those guest analysts during the playoffs, and it was great to meet all those guys.
Yeah, man.
Chaser's like, he becomes the executive producer, like right off the bat.
Oh my God, Chaser!
He's like running the broadcast.
I could only imagine.
No, we love Chaser. He's going through a fight right now, so we're all thinking about him. What about when ESPN like? And I know it's like kind of a touchy subject. But all these they're all like fighting and like they're tweeting at each other and like arguing and all that. Does that drive you crazy, or you just try to stay above that and away from it?
Yeah, no, I think, there's a WWE aspect to media now, across all networks. You see it on the political side with Fox and MSNBC, and it's just kind of what our society has come. And that's what, social media really is kind of like that WWE, land where you can do stuff like that. And hey, anything that charges interest and ratings and for some people, their own personal brand, because they can make a lot of money outside of their TV salaries with, again, commercials or other opportunities. And so in the end, if it's obviously it can get too personal and the wrong thing can be said, you can certainly lose your job over comments and things. But for the most part, if you try to keep it above water my thing is just be a good teammate.
Yeah,
that's my big thing. I don't like when I guess the only way actually, as you asked that question and thinking about it as I'm answering. That's what bothers me. Is like I used to not like when emails that the company would send us would appear like in Deadspin and these websites like that. It's like it just didn't like that's and I understand it's an email, it's gonna get out. But that's kind of like what you guys with what's in the room stays in the room. Yeah. It's like, and I guess I brought that when you play sports growing up and you love the sacredness of the room, and that's what's cool about going with Callie. Like Callie is so uncomfortable going in dressed, even though we're allowed after morning skate, even when we're allowed to walk down there. We have credentials. We pay a lot of money, so ESPN people can go wherever they want. But you can tell he's still uncomfortable because that's not my area. That's their area.
Me too. Interesting.
I like that. And again, eventually you get over, like Ferraro eventually got over that, but he was that way in the beginning, and I'm still kind of that way too. I'm kind of I'm kind of programmed that way as well. It's like, I'm just not going to go in there just to go in there. If there's a kid who played college, and I want to say hi to him, like Ryan Donato, I'll say, hey Ryan, how you doing? How's the you guys got a baby? How's the baby? Yeah. But for the most part, that's your guys' place. And even though, again, we're allowed, we have access, and some guys, hey, you have to go in there. Men and women getting all this content for different sites. And I get that. But it's still, to me, kind of and that's why I look at work and ESPN. It's like, just support your teammate. You know, someone, if an athlete talks badly about it, just show your back. You can do it in a very subtle, diplomatic way, but just we are on one team. But what's happening is people are starting to create their own brand. So I get it. It's not like it used to be when I got in. We were all on the same. There are kind of other people on their own YouTube channel. They have this and they have that. So they're not. It's different. But hey, it's good for us because we have more opportunities. I could probably start a podcast and ESPN would let me. Different things like that. So hey, they have a lot of ambition that way, and so it is a little bit different. But still, I like to. When in doubt, I like to do one for protect your teammates and do it for the team.
You have like LeBron like trying to fight like Stephen A. Smith.
Is that fake though? Like, come on.
Or is that real?
I mean, Stephen A. Smith wanted to run for presidency, and then he gets owned by LeBron. Like, you're not dealing with Kim Jong-un. I'll tell you that right now.
Well, that's the thing, right? Because now the players are in the media business, right? They're all starting their own media.
Oh yeah, especially in the NBA. Yeah.
And even
NFL too.
Josh Allen just started his own media company. Of course, Peyton Manning, Tom Brady. So football and basketball, because like you said earlier, they're the two most popular sports. Sure. So if you're going to start a media brand, that's where you start. But so that's part of it too. They like promotion. That's good. Some of it is obviously done on purpose. LeBron could have confronted Stephen A. back in a hallway, man to man, but he knew cameras would be on him, so it gets attention. And so they're in the attention business. Let's face it. That's media, clicks, video, YouTube, whatever. You're in the business. You want eyeballs and clicks, and the way to do it is to create drama. Sometimes it's natural and organic. Probably most of the time it is, because again, we get passionate talking about sports. We're no different than the sports fan. We're all sports fans. Stephen A. Smith's a sports fan. Pat McAfee's a sports fan. Yeah. So they're going to have emotional takes, and in the end, a debate will come up once in a while. And LeBron's kid obviously got favorable treatment. And he seems like an amazing kid. LeBron seems like an amazing dad, and him and his mom. And LeBron didn't have a dad growing up, and his mom was troubled, but he made it through, and now he seems to construct this really good family. And so he can protect it whenever he wants. And certainly all of us, if there was a way to help your kid, you're going to help your kid under any circumstance. You're going to use your leverage to help your kid. No one wouldn't do that. And so it's a delicate thing to thread. And I enjoy that part because I think I'm pretty good at that. When you're trying to create an argument, be careful with your words, see 3-4 words ahead. Like I said, think it out before you talk, and just have a very, have a really good empathetic, opinion based on family and love and protection. And then the other stuff just kind of like, it's just fun little entertainment noise.
Yeah.
Yeah. But LeBron though, like let's be honest. He is annoying to me, and I know he's the best athlete in the world, probably the best athlete ever. But like, you get your kid into the NBA, and he's not very good. But then you tweet out stuff that he's better than other players in the NBA. Yeah, and then people get pissy, and you bitch at them for getting it's just the whole thing's a drama fest, and it just looks bad.
A lot of drama. I mean,
come on.
Hey, listen, the Ovi thing, man. Are you just jotting down numbers on a piece of paper years ago and being like, okay, he's going to break Wayne Gretzky's record in this year? This is, right. It's pretty, what made you think to even break it down? And remind me how you had it broken down. When did you think he was going to break it? Well, was it at this age, or was it last year or the next year? Tell us.
Yeah. If you Google Buccigross Ovechkin, it's one of the first few things that comes up. And I wrote it in 2010. Again, this is when I'm writing a hockey column. When we write a hockey column every week, you're always looking for something, looking for ideas. He was coming to Bristol to film a This Is SportsCenter commercial, the Russian spy one, when he falls over.
Awesome.
Top 10 all-time SportsCenters, maybe top 20 all-time SportsCenter commercials. It was excellent. I said, wow, maybe I can get to him and just ask him a few questions, because it started to ponder in my mind, geez, maybe he's off to such a great start. He's building a base. Anytime you're looking to break a record, those first 5 to 7 years are important. You can't catch up in your 30s, right? You need to build a big base in your 20s. And he just seemed different. He seemed indestructible. There was no one like him really before. That was that big and thick and fast twitched and just programmed to do it. And so obviously it was a bit of a risky prediction because of injury, but and that was to bring back LeBron. That's why they're so analogous, is that they don't get hurt. Like, he's not going to get hurt. And that's why I was kind of confident, even though at the time he was only 20. Well, he's only 25 years old. When I asked him, I'll never forget his reaction. He looked at me like I had 12 heads. Clearly, no one had asked him yet, do you think you can break Wayne Gretzky's record of 894? So, but he's a very cool guy. He's very well, he's very great manners. He was raised well. He had two great parents. He's obviously a prodigy. And so I mapped it out year by year. Now I just went with historical comparables. Like, so when I got to age 36, well, Brett Hull scored this many goals and he was 36. Why can't Ovi score 37? Phil Esposito and Brendan Shanahan had these big years. He's kind of like them, thick, big. He'll get closer to the net as he ages to get tap-ins and stuff. And so I just kind of went the whole career up. And when I was done at age 40, which is where we are now, I had like 954. Like, I had plenty of goals, and I didn't do anything outlandish. Remember, he's only got 60 goals once in his career. He's had one 60-goal season, 65. And so he's kind of like Henry Aaron in baseball. For the baseball fans who eventually broke Babe Ruth's record, he never had massive years. He was just consistent. And that's what Ovi is, which is weird because he's so flashy with this interesting personality. I compare him to Arnold Schwarzenegger. He had no self-consciousness when he butchered the English language. When people kind of laughed at him, he could always laugh at himself doing those local commercials at 21 years old in the D.C. area. He just had a Schwarzenegger vibe. And I just figured he would age well and not get hurt. So it's out there. And so, I just, in some years I nailed the exact amount of goals. Obviously I didn't see a lockout coming where he lost about 30 goals, a pandemic coming where he lost another 20 goals. And of course, he might have played when he was, 19 years old. He didn't play until he was 20, his first.
Yeah, exactly. He had to wait a year.
Wait a year. So that's another, and he had 52 his rookie year. So give him 30, right? I mean, he'd have 1,000 by now with that rookie year, no pandemic. And but again, maybe some of those also gave him some rest. You never know. It is what it is. And here we are. It's really astounding. I can't wait to see where it happens and funny, you're just talking about First Take and things like that. I hope that day we get a lot of hockey discussions when he breaks the record. So I think that day will be a great day for the league when and even I'm sure news organizations and like the CBS Evening News and CNN, I bet they'll mention it as well. So it's going to be a great moment for hockey just as the playoffs begin to see all this hockey video. So hopefully the league can take advantage. I wish they had it more. I wish they were buying advertising time on NBA games or buying advertising time on primetime specials, just like TV shows on ABC and NBC, whatever, just to celebrate and like invest, hit the owners up. Let's invest, like $5 million buying ad time on this record. And then the Stanley Cup playoffs, like really aggressively market it across everywhere, Joe Rogan's, whatever, like get to people. And this is a big opportunity. And I haven't seen that.
I agree with that, man. Ovi's the coolest cat in the league by
He's
far.
Great. He's aged well. He's assimilated himself to America.
Yes,
he's assimilated himself to the NHL game. Let's face it, the Europeans always didn't get the Stanley Cup way back in the day. They couldn't wait to go home because you're not paid in the playoffs, right? The Cup didn't mean anything to them. Gold medals meant stuff to them, world championships. But now eventually, thankfully, and with the help of Ovi, I think that now the Cup is that's the trophy in hockey, right? It's the number one trophy. And when they finally won it and how he acted, that shows you what it meant, right? That shows you what it meant.
Yeah.
Where back in the 90s or so, it was still obviously a big deal. You win a hockey tournament, but it's still more about your national team, the gold medal and things like that. But now eventually every player on planet Earth, the number one trophy is the Stanley Cup.
Well, when you're waterboarding yourself and getting naked and are you out of your fucking... They were the first team to really get down with it.
And the Blues
did
followed
it too.
And other teams followed it after that, where they were just partying in public, didn't care if people were filming them, if it was all over social media. Management, coaches, ownership, they didn't care. They just let them have fun. So... yeah, he was a trendsetter from that standpoint. Is there a chance that you would call any of his games down the stretch here? Like, do you have any Washington games or no?
ESPN won't let me within 10 miles of the record-breaking goal, I think. I'm way down the depth chart.
Really?
I'm way down. We have the next two, it's actually... the next two games, that's TNT and local, because some of TNT games aren't exclusive. The local team also broadcasts the game and TNT. Our games are all only ESPN, ABC, ESPN+. Sometimes TNT has a game where the local does it as well, and that's the case to the next couple. And then we have two. We have an ABC game and a Plus game exclusive that are like 4 games away. So as long as he doesn't go nuts, it's going to be close. So I'm sure every broadcaster would love the call. It's obviously it'll live forever. Whether it's, this is a top, at least when I've been alive, it's a top 5 record break. Like I said, Henry Aaron did it when I was, what was that, 74? And then of course Bonds, but no one really recognizes Bonds breaking the record. Basketball records, like LeBron breaking the points record. People don't care about football records and basketball records. It seems to be baseball and hockey. So this is a big one. It's one of the biggest ones of my lifetime. So to have that call and to hear it forever, that's a big honor. But no, I won't be within miles of the microphone.
But Joe Beninati, who's called all these goals for him for the Washington, I think he came out publicly and said he wants to be behind the microphone.
Yeah,
of course he does.
yeah.
Well,
what's going to happen now? They're not, and I was like, why don't they just have him call every game digitally, right?
Okay.
Audio only, put it on your website, and then he's doing every game, even our national games. He can still do it just for audio for the website for anything. And then whenever you retire Ovi's number, whenever you honor him, you just play his call in the arena, right?
Yeah.
Now we're going to play our call, or TNT is going to play their call if they get the game. But whenever you do anything in-house or locally, Joe's got the call. So now they've rectified that, and that's what they're doing. He's now calling every game, whether it's TV or whether it's an audio format. So they have it, and he has so there'll be multiple calls, obviously, for the record breaker.
What do you think of TNT and how they do their coverage in relation to or comparison to ESPN? Do you guys feel like do you want to be more like them? Do you want to have a looser coverage, or do you try to stick to who you are and kind of let them do their thing? Because the basketball, they fight the same thing, right?
That's the model, right? That's the model. Once Barkley and EJ, and then eventually Shaq, but not in the beginning. Shaq wasn't there at the beginning, but now they brought him in. Kenny Smith, Ernie Johnson. So once TNT hit magic with that, everything they do is from that model, right?
Yeah.
Baseball was next. They had a really good baseball model. Same thing. The anchor is here. This Pedro Martinez is here. It's like the same formation. And so when they got hockey, same idea. They started Wayne over here, then they had Biz here, then they put Biz over here. They kind of moved, but for the most part, it's the same model. And it's obviously very successful. It's entertaining. It's more based on them, or based more on highlights. And maybe if it's a major issue, if it's a rule situation, we're probably going to handle it a little bit better. We have Dave Jackson, and maybe we have a little more acumen in that situation. But in terms of entertainment, they do a great job. It's funny. The game seems to be pretty much the same. Kenny Albert, Eddie Olchuk, and Brian Boucher. The game's the game, pretty similar. I don't think they do it any differently than anybody else. The studio is the big difference, right?
Yeah,
that's the big difference. And a lot of it because of Biz. Biz is the entire thing.
Yeah, man.
He's a star. He's come on. He's like when Barry Melrose came on the scene, they're very young guy, same thing. People identify with him. They root for him. And he's very likable. He's become very good. Like I talk about finding his voice and doing this for a long time, doing all those episodes of Spittin' Chickless and talking with Ryan Whitney and kind of, shooting the shit. That way you become good at it, and then you bring it to TV and you try to make it in a shorter period of time. But he's done that well, and they've done a good job producing him. Some of their bits are really, really good. So yeah, it's different, and I like that. I'm glad there's multiple partners. For so long, hockey was so affordable. One person could write a big check and they get it all. And so I like having someone to push us and to compete against and have a different flavor. So yeah, I'm a fan.
Biz is the most popular hockey player ever, if you think about it. No, seriously. If you crunch the numbers down and see how he's more popular than anybody.
You think?
Yes.
I don't know,
with
it's
young
still,
kids and everything. There's people that don't know who Gretzky is. They know who Biz is.
Yeah, but I would say that a lot of Hollywood people
don't
know
who
who
he is,
Gretzky is and don't know who Biz is. Like Hollywood people.
Yeah, there is.
His social media is so gigantic, man. He's got to be more popular than anybody.
Entertainers, rappers, they all that's like the one hockey player they know is Gretzky.
Okay, never mind Gretter. Everybody else, I'm telling you, Biz is more popular. Hey, who's the top 3 broadcasters of all time?
Top 3 broadcasters?
Yeah. Play-by-play broadcasters. Who do you think?
Yes. I
love a bad question.
No, that's a good question.
I love Dan Kelly's voice, the old St. Louis Blue broadcaster. He did some of those Canada Cups, and just something about voice was just perfect. Like I said, just infused with enough cigarette smoke and to give it unfortunately that's the price to get a voice like that. I don't want to pay that price.
I know.
Bob Cole in Canada was just amazing, like a great tenor. A lot of, I'm not big on the screaming more. I like someone like him, it's amazing how his voice and how he could build it with that. It's just, I try to listen to him and I try to study these guys. I want to be myself because I don't want to sound like anybody else. There seems to be a lot of cookie cutter among the young people nowadays, because they have schools and stuff. And where back in the day, you just kind of did it on your own. And so certainly Dan Kelly and Bob Cole, in terms of, and Mike Emmerich was the guy I really enjoyed the last 20 years. Again, the love of the game, a little bit of a vocabulary, and another guy that just loved the game. So those are three that come to mind. Again, they're all older guys, and none of them are still doing it. So that's kind of like your favorite bands, right? I like the Beatles, the Rolling Stones, and the Doors.
Yeah.
But
Rolling Stones are still doing it.
Yeah, exactly. Unbelievable. That's performance-enhancing, drugs. I think they wouldn't pass any kind of. They wouldn't be in the Hall of Fame if they had performance-enhancing testing in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Hey, again, all these controversies I never even knew that happened. But did you accidentally leak the lottery board, or was that like a rehearsal? Like why was
a rehearsal? Yeah,
what was the big deal about that?
It was a rehearsal. That was well before, and that wasn't what it turned out to be. It was
because they had Utah number 2, I think, in your tweet, right? And Chicago got the second overall pick.
I want to take a picture of the studio, so they were just doing rehearsal just in case they get it. Make sure you do this so it moves up, because you have to practice those things for the graphic person, the director, and so that was like kind of the first one they threw up there. And then then the internet went crazy, and the NHL was cool about it. I was like, no, they didn't. It's a very although I did know for 20 minutes before anybody else.
Did you?
They told me who won, and Celebrini's right there. And I'm like, geez, I know where you're going, but I can't tell you, and I didn't. So, but yeah, so that was cool. That was the first one I did. Drove down to those studios are in New Jersey and did that lottery show, and that was cool. And I would probably won't do it this year because Celebrini was such a star. It made for good TV, and so we'll see. That's like year to year. I've enjoyed covering the last 3-4 drafts, and this year it's in LA, but of course it's. All the scouts won't go this year, so I don't know how that affects TV. But I just kind of take it year to year. I never expect anything. Eventually they'll tell me to go home whenever that is. But so for now, I just love every day.
All right, a few more things for you, man. You've been great. We appreciate it.
Booch.
But the television deal in Canada, right? They just announced their mega deal. How does that set things up, you think, down the road here for the U.S. deal? Because the U.S. deal has to be bigger than the Canadian deal, I would imagine. So do you think ESPN, are they fully invested and committed long-term to the National Hockey League?
Yeah, I'm not sure. There'll be, after, like I said, my deal's up. I have 1 more year, and then there'll be 2 years left on our current deal. So, I would hope I'd get another 2-year deal. That'd be nice, at least get the end of this TV contract. But obviously, you negotiate the next deal before you're in the last year of your deal. So this time next year, I'm sure ESPN will start in TNT. I suppose we'll see what kind of and what they're thinking, and if the NHL is hearing whispers, does anybody else want to be can they want a bidding war, of course, but if someone steps up like Sportsnet did and blows them away with an offer, you take that. And that's a massive amount. I assume they're going to sell some of that, whether it's to Amazon or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Just kind of we did with the college football playoff here, and we gave some to, I think, to TNT, or sold some to TNT, however they do the deal. So I imagine that's what's happening there. But yeah, I don't, obviously people keep wondering, is Amazon, is Google, is Apple going to just come in and blow everybody away because their pockets are deeper than everybody? And I know they're trying the Amazon thing in Canada. And so maybe if they were interested in doing something deeper, they would have let the NHL know, right, somehow. So maybe they didn't go gaga over it and don't want the whole thing and write a giant check and are going to take it slow, and maybe get into other sports like the NFL. Who knows? But so yeah, it'll be interesting. It's always interesting to see, will any of these tech companies really swing big for the fences, and then and what does that mean for Disney and these other companies who don't quite have the firepower? But hey, we stepped up with the NBA, we stepped up with the college football playoffs. We're back in the Super Bowl rotation, Disney, ABC, ESPN. So we're fighting back. That I've always said, I always wonder why cable didn't fight back when streaming was getting big, because it's way more fun to watch sports on cable than it is trying to go in and out of apps.
God, yeah.
But they never seem to fight back. They never say, hey, we'll give you these 15, these 20 sports packages for $88, and you can flick back and forth all you want. And they seem to just let everybody cut the cord without much of a fight back. I don't quite know, but I know then they got in the internet business, which is a great business. But yeah, I always wonder why they didn't fight back. But yeah, I hope ESPN's in it long term. We'll see. You never know for sure. There's different people in charge now than there was when we signed this deal. A couple of people. President's still there, Jimmy Pitaro, and he's done a great job. And Bob Iger still runs Disney, and he's done an amazing job. And so we'll see.
Last thing for you. Any teams ever offer you a job or try to pluck you away from ESPN? Did you interview with any teams ever? Because I did read, and I remember back in 2017, you thought maybe you were going to be part of the layoffs or whatever. So I'm just curious if you ever interviewed with a team.
No, I never asked. Certainly, I know, there's a couple jobs that came up last summer, Boston and Columbus. Those would be two jobs that I would probably, consider, because I'm from Ohio, grew up in Ohio, and obviously Boston being close to where I kind of live. And hey, maybe I could, no, I was still under contract, so maybe I go to ESPN. Hey, could I do this, and then maybe do a few, restructure my contract so I can do both. Would I don't know if I would have done that. I still like doing games for ESPN and doing the college. And again, maybe I could do both at some point. That's Mike Emmerich for a long time did the Devils and did the national package. And, some guys, Kenny Albert still does all kinds of stuff. And Mike Breen does Knicks and he does ABC basketball. So you can do that, do a little bit of national and have a local team. And I would be interested in doing that. But no one's ever come to me and I've never gone to them. The Lightning job was up a while back here. And so I think it would be cool. And that's why I know Brian Boucher, he left ESPN to go to TNT to work less so he could do the Flyers job.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
Moved to Philly. And then he loves being a part of a team like that and having a local broadcast. It's just a different feel. Because when we go do games, we're always the villain because they don't have their normal broadcaster calling the game. Yeah. And they listen to games from the perspective of their team, right? When you watch a game and you watch a team, you watch your players. You don't watch, so your players really well. When they defend, you're looking at them. You're not looking at the other team from their perspective. You're looking at, so I have to do both. And so if I yell score a little too loud for the other team, then the other fans are pissed, and so they never watch the game from my perspective and they only watch the game from their perspective. So you're always the villain as opposed to the hometown broadcaster. It's a job with great job security. You can do it for a long time. You become a part of the community where, again, I'm kind of out here in the desert, not really part of any city. It's something I'm probably too old for it now. A lot of those jobs are for young people who can stick around for a long, long time. And I'd be more probably like a bridge now, so I get that. I actually did interview. I'm sorry, when the Blue Jackets came into existence back in 2001. I went out there and I didn't have any experience, so that was tough. But I was, I worked at ESPN. I host NHL Tonight, Ohio kid, and so that I don't know what would have happened if they would have offered me if I would have.
What
done
about Winnipeg? What about if Winnipeg offered you some coin?
Love the pig. It's the Toledo of Canada. It's
It's hardcore, Bucci. Come on, it's hardcore
it's
up there.
It's the Gary, Indiana of Canada.
It's hardcore up there.
At this point, I would prefer a tropical climate for the hockey season because it is October to April.
Shit, man.
Maybe
it's tough. It's a tough living, dude. They're tough up there.
Maybe expansion team in Naples, and I'm going to be knocking
in the Bahamas.
Bucci, you're only the villain in my eyes because when you do the game, I don't get paid for that game, so that's why.
That's true. He loses money when you do the games. He's always pissed at you. He motherfucks you all the time. He's a good guy.
ESPN's doing the game. We're not getting paid.
Don't you have like a pregame, postgame you can do, or a radio?
Yeah, exactly. Something for sure.
No, he doesn't get paid.
Hey, but listen, I'd be remiss though before we let you go. The Frozen Four is coming to St. Louis, man. We're here in St. Louis. We're excited about it. I remember when it was here in 2007. It was a great event. Huge crowds, some future NHL stars participating in that Frozen Four. It was an amazing collection of talent. How do you look at this one? How does this shape up? And I'm just curious. I know it's a long-winded question, but college hockey in general, I know David Carl came out with like a kind of a rant a little bit about how he'd like to see more NCAA tournament games be hosted by home teams, played on campus. Maybe create bigger attendances and, a better environment for some of these games. I'm curious your take on that and how you look at the Frozen Four coming up.
Yeah, I'm for that. I'm for that. You saw it in football this year. They had on-campus sites for college football playoff, because they expanded it, and so that was really cool. And then they went to the bowls for the rest of the playoffs. But I like that. It makes for a better TV show. I think a kid would rather play a road game that's filled than a game in Grand Rapids with 1,200 people, in a big stadium. I think they would prefer the road game every time. They're not afraid of it. It gets them going. So yeah, I'm for that. I think it would help. Obviously, there's some challenges when a number one seed might have a rink of 1,100. It's not optimal for revenue, but I am for that. I'm for atmosphere. It makes for better television and a better experience for the student athlete. And but this is a great Frozen Four. We have two blue bloods in Denver and BU. 10 national championships for Denver, the most ever. 5 for BU, and then we have 2 brand new schools who've never been to the Frozen Four. Western Michigan, speaking of Keith Jones, a good hockey history, but have never reached the Frozen Four. Pat Ferschweiler, former Red Wing assistant, great coach, has brought them. He succeeded Andy Murray when Murray retired. Has a nothing but win there. And then Penn State, a Big Ten brand is really good for ratings. I mean, these Big Ten schools have gigantic enrollments. I mean, they're churning out 25,000 alumni every year. That's a million people every 20 years. There's millions of people went to Penn State. Yeah. So that's good. They're gonna, and it being their first one, I'm sure there's people going to go to the game, and there's going to be good juice in the arena because of it. And I think Western Michigan will provide juice, and obviously Denver, BU fan, they might wait to see if they get to the finals first before they come out. So because they've been there so much, it's not as special as the other two. So I like to have some blue bloods, and I like to have Cinderella newbies. I think that makes for a good combination of games. And to see, Z Bouillon is the best player in the tournament, the Minnesota Wild first round pick. He's electric to watch. Lane Hudson's brother Cole for BU plays a very similar game to Lane. In a lot of ways, he's a little bit of a smoother skater, loves the big moment and cocky, and really like that. So it's, you got a few stars, a few NHL future guys, and then you have Western Michigan and Penn State, the undrafted people who are trying to find a name for themselves. It's a great stage to do it. And maybe, have a team like you and sign you and get a chance as a free agent to play at the next level. So it's exciting. St. Louis is a great sports city. The Phillies are in town. That's going to bring some juice to the city as well. Hopefully it's sunny and warm and makes for a great day, and we can hang out and drink some browns somewhere.
There'll be tornadoes. Don't worry.
Let's go get some chicken parm. We got some good suggestions for you.
Go out to Clayton and Napoli. They make a great veal chop. Pound it.
He doesn't eat that.
Cafe Napoli, man. That's the spot. Say hi to Andy when you go there. Hey, but the St. Louis Hockey's produced players that have played at all 4 schools over the years, too. So I know there's a lot of people excited, locally to have those schools here represented. So looking forward to seeing you here in St. Louis, Bucci. Thanks for doing this, man. Congrats on everything you're doing.
You look great. You look like an actor.
We're going to send you a package. You'll get that here shortly.
Hell yeah, baby.
I'll get that address.
You just wear youth medium T-shirts and you look jacked. That's
what I do, baby. That's what I do. I'm fat now. Hey, man, Bucci, you're the man, dude. Appreciate it, man.
Yeah.
Anytime.
See you, buddy.
All the best, Bucci. Take care.
Are we starting now?
Oh, yeah, exactly. Oh, yeah.
We don't waste time.
Now we'll do the interview.
We don't waste time.
The Chemistry Podcast is brought to you by Bellman. BEHLMANN. Bellman Automotive. Located where?
Troy,
Missouri. Buick GMC on one side of the street. Right on the other side, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram. Get yourself some new wheels in time for the winter. Cam, your thoughts on Bucci, man? He's cool. What a great life, dude. Doing SportsCenter all those years and being on ESPN, making money. He's kind of elevated himself to bigger and
better things,
more, bigger roles with throughout ESPN. Big face of SportsCenter for years and years. Always loved hockey. Always pushed hockey.
Yep.
On a network that was controlling sports here in this country that never talked about hockey.
Yep. He helped out a lot.
He was an advocate.
Damn right he was, man. He talked hockey more than anybody at the time, and hockey needed it at the time. Certainly. And he's an American boy, man. And you look at Bucci, and you're like, he looks like an athlete.
Mm-hmm.
He looks like an athlete.
He's in shape.
He's in shape.
Eats
my
steak
God.
every day.
He's got a good gig going on, man. He's out in Florida, and he goes up and he bounces around. He's got a cool job, man.
Yeah.
He does a damn good job. I like his social media, dude. He pumps up the game in a great way, man. I like him a lot.
He kind of does it differently. Does his own thing, how he does it.
Yeah.
He created that overtime challenge. The Bucci overtime challenge.
I like it.
Which took off.
Yep.
Does the chicken parm. He's just got his own thing
He's
going
cool,
on.
man. He's cool as shit. I like him. I like him a lot. He's a smart man, and he's good at what he does.
When he does his highlights, he'd be like, like Trey Anastasio is to Fish, Dylan Holloway is to the Blues,
What?
He'd always like pick out like a band, like a band member, how important they are to the band,
Mm-hmm.
Like Eddie Vedder is to Pearl Jam,
Of course.
Yeah,
I get that. No, he's a smart,
Ilya
witty guy.
Mikheyev is to the Chicago Blackhawks.
Yeah. So anyway, but he's a cool cat. I'm sure you like the interview, man. He's a smart dude. He's good at what he does. Truly is.
I think Brad Marchand is going back to Boston. Something tells me he's going back to Boston in the offseason. And I do think his best hockey is behind him. I hate to say that about Brad Marchand.
Of course it is.
He's obviously, up there in age right now. But you watch him play, like he'll never be the dominant player that he was for such a long time.
He might score a big-time goal for you.
Made him into a Hall of Famer. But, exactly. He's going to be that guy who, in the playoffs, will all of a sudden score the big goal.
There it is, dude. He's going to score a big-time goal.
But the way that he talked about Boston and thanking Don Sweeney, and it's almost like it almost feels like, hey, and Boston lost 10 in a row recently too. It almost feels like, okay, take this trade. I'll get you to where you want to go. You want to go to Florida? I'll get you to Florida, and we'll get something in return as we try to get this thing moving in the right direction. And then you can come back in the offseason.
Yeah.
But do you think teams have to eventually just move on from some of these guys?
Yeah. Of course, dude. It's no big deal. You got the best out of him. Mm-hmm. You won a cup with him. You've gotten a lot of attention. You won a lot of games with him. You've been successful with this guy. Yeah, if you don't get him back, that it's just is what is business, man. Yeah. He's getting older. And maybe Brad Marchand's like, I kind of like it down here. I like to sign for less money.
To stay in Florida.
Where I could take my golf cart to the rink. Are you out of your fuck mind? You're goddamn right I'm standing out
I'm going to get a customized golf cart.
For what? Your neighborhood? It gets stolen.
No, it won't.
In your neighborhood?
No one
Sure
steals.
It will.
You think people steal them?
What are you going to take your golf cart to?
Don't get mad because I'm getting a golf cart. See, like when Cam wants something and I get it, then he'll get upset about it.
I don't want a golf cart. I want a side-by-side, man. What am I going to do with a golf cart? They go 10 miles an hour.
Well, take it to that golf course you live on that you don't belong to
They
anymore.
don't
that
let
you don't go golfing
I couldn't afford it.
Why? Well, I know. It's very expensive.
Jeez. Well, I got to say that again? Andy turns me like, Jesus
sorry.
Christ. I had to spend a lot of money,
I think you were spending more money than you needed to spend.
Yeah, I was spending a ton of money.
You're going up there, eating dinner,
my mom
taking friends, they're buying drinks and
thousands of dollars a fucking month. I had to take care of business. I couldn't afford it.
I know.
And now my dad's kind of in that similar situation where he might have to go to that fucking place and have to spend a ton of money. I can't afford it right now.
Do you even try?
You want to keep talking about my finances?
Do you even try to get back in there or no?
Yeah, they're waiting on me. They have it set aside.
So you don't have to pay another initiation?
No, they're cool. They're cool.
So what would I need to give you a month to like basically be the member?
I'm almost there. It's all good. So, but I don't need a golf cart. They don't allow golf carts on there. They have brand new
really? You can't drive your own golf cart up there?
No, man. They don't want some fucking.
I bet you could.
No, Andy, you can't. See, I know the rules. You cannot do that. Okay?
You couldn't drive a golf cart and then park it in the parking lot and then walk in.
Why would I want a golf cart when I can just take my car? Why would I want a side-by-side? Side-by-sides are 10 times better.
I'd get a side-by-side.
That's what you want. See, Andy tries to be cool, and he doesn't even know what he's talking about. He wants to get a golf cart. Everybody's like, oh, cool. You're barely even going anywhere. It doesn't get out of anything. Like a side-by-side, you could do multiple things with. You could take it on a trailer and go down fucking cruising around. Golf carts are one-dimensional.
You think side-by-sides are dangerous?
Nah. Four-wheelers are more dangerous. Three-wheelers were the most dangerous.
Is the side-by-side different than a four-wheeler?
Yeah, dude.
In what sense? Like you're kind of into there's doors and like it's a roof.
Do you know anything about anything? No,
but 4x4s, those ATV accidents,
4x4s,
they're very 4-wheelers. They're very dangerous.
Those are useless too. Side-by-sides are the way to go.
Back
in the day,
why would you want a 4-wheeler versus a side-by-side?
No one wants a 4-wheeler versus a side-by-side. What are you talking about? Nobody wants a 4-wheeler anymore.
I know people that have 4-wheelers.
Yes,
dude,
they want a side-by-side. No, they want a side-by-side.
They got those too.
What are you going to do with a 4-wheeler? Side-by-sides, you could actually pull things, and you have a little bed in the back, and it's like a mini truck that goes 50 miles an hour, and it doesn't flip over like a 4-wheeler does.
Okay, so that's what I'm asking. That's what I'm getting at. So they're safer.
Yeah, you're enclosed, man. You could pimp that thing out with bright lights and do all this stuff, man. 4-wheelers are one-dimensional. 3-wheelers were the worst. They fucking yanked those off the market.
Where's Shedeur going to go?
I don't know. Fuck if
What
I
do you think
know.
of his combine? Did you have any?
Don't know. Didn't even pay attention to it. You know, Shadare didn't
Shit.
know. I don't know yet. We'll wait.
I love how this one guy came out, Sean King, former
I know he is.
quarterback, played
Yeah.
for Tampa Bay,
Yeah.
and I think he's with an organization right now, and he's like, yeah, I have him graded out as like a second round pick, maybe late first. He's like, but if you say that publicly, you're automatically a hater. You're just being a
Yeah.
hater.
Okay. That's fair.
Mm-hmm. I have him graded out
protected.
around that too.
I don't
he
know.
kind of
what he
does
is.
this double, little like pats the ball, do a little clutch. He's gonna have to get the ball out a little
like
quicker.
Brady style. Like,
Well, these defensive backs at the NFL level, they lock in on that, man. They're quick.
I don't care about the NFL right now, dude. I don't give a fuck about it right now.
Who do you care about?
The Blues, more than anything, because that directly affects me and you.
You
I
think-
want them to be successful. I want them to make the second round. I want them to fucking go far. I want them to keep this pace. That's what I care about. That
Yeah.
directly affects me and you in a lot of different ways. If the Blues keep doing what they're doing,
Yeah.
that's on my number one mind.
If you're the Blues, which is the preferable matchup? Is it Winnipeg or is it Vegas?
Shit, man, it's hard to knock
I
out.
asked you about the bracket earlier because I'm talking about like if you had to get through one bracket versus the next to get to the conference final, which is the better path. But now let's focus on first round. Who would you rather face? Winnipeg or Vegas?
Probably Winnipeg. Or I'm sorry, probably Vegas.
Mhm.
Winnipeg. I know they haven't done much in the playoffs.
I would
but the way
rather play Winnipeg.
they're just so good all year long. They've been consistent all year long.
I feel like Bennington's and Hellebuck's head a little bit.
That could be the case until you're not, you know?
Okay. But that doesn't even mean anything.
But what are you making sense of then? Why is Vegas? Or-
He's in his head. Oh, Vegas.
I'm
I
sorry,
just-
why Winnipeg then?
I just feel like they're a little bit unproven. I think there's going to be a little more question marks because of that. It's louder in a Canadian market, questioning Hellebuck. Which version of Hellebuck are you going to see? Are they tested for the playoffs? Are they built for the playoffs? Have they won? Do they have a winning pedigree? Got a lot of really good players, but just like you said, until you win in the playoffs, you haven't done it. So
Yeah, you can count them out and be like,
Vegas, I just feel like going up against that big group of defensemen with Petro, Theodore, McNabb, all those guys, man.
it's tough, man. They're big.
And with Eichel, kind of,
Barbashev, Eichel,
they're just
Stone,
yeah,
Jesus. They're loaded.
that would be yeah.
I don't know, Andy. Actually,
So I'm just saying,
it's tough.
but either way, you're going to have to beat a
I'm
good
not
team.
throwing money on anything. I'll tell you that because
You
just
bet
don't
on
know.
sports ever?
No, God, no. I don't bet. I don't gamble, dude. I can't.
Okay.
Can't do it.
I don't gamble on my health either. That's why I go to First Form, baby. Firstform.com/Cam and I just take care of myself. I am in great health right now because of it. My energy's great.
Yeah, man. Just because you're small, slow, and weak doesn't mean that you're not healthy. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Andy might live till he's 120. So. And he's still pretty healthy. Although you got sick quite a bit. People are kind of chirping you. Like every time you come in here, you're fucking sick.
One
Like,
guy
okay.
was like waiting for me to say that, but I went through it one time. The first time I got sick.
Yeah, You're
15
You're
years.
healthy, dude. You're a
Yeah.
healthy guy. No doubt.
Yeah.
No doubt about it.
People
Still small, slow, and weak. Doesn't
SSW.
mean that you're not healthy because you are a healthy guy.
Don't say that though.
That you're what?
Small, slow, and weak.
No, you're big, strong, and fast. Like
I just don't like it when you say that.
it's kind of it's all good.
Yeah, but it's like it makes me like lose confidence a little bit.
Well, I don't want to do that.
I know.
My bad.
Like, don't do that.
We'll just
That's like
reciprocal.
chirping. Like if my kid were to listen to that and you say that about.
Well, he's probably like, yeah, I could.
No.
I'm stronger than my dad at fucking 8. He's gonna pretty soon he's gonna be throwing you around. It's all good. Who cares? As long as they're strong.
I just don't like
Chloe
it.
could fucking outrun you and probably stronger than you right now.
Mhm.
It's all good. As long as she's strong. You don't need to be.
Yeah. Ivy had field hockey yesterday.
I saw that cute little picture. So cute, man. Cute kids, dude. They're very, very cute. I love them. I really do.
If the kids would pass I don't understand that game at all. Field hockey. I don't know what's going on.
No idea. Shoot the ball into something.
I see grown men wearing like field hockey coats and just it's like they're
They're
very,
into it.
Yes, they're
Well,
very
Walt was into it too with
his daughter.
What's her name again?
Taryn.
Taryn. Yep.
In fact, where she played yesterday was on the Kachuk Terrace.
Oh yeah. Is that
Yeah.
what it's called?
Mhm.
That's kind of cool.
So-
Walt was there. Talked to him for a while
Yeah, I know.
over the weekend.
Good.
Everybody was.
He didn't play, but he
Well,
was there.
He can't play right now. He hasn't skated in a long time. You know, all these guys you keep mentioning can't play. And if they did, I'd probably have 8 goals.
Firstform.com/Cam and Strick. Use our link, man. Send us a screenshot of what you order. We're going to post it, man.
Damn right.
Like, I want to know what our listeners are using. Like, you know, give us your suggestion of the week. The listener, what's the best product that you swear by, that you live by?
That's right.
That helps you perform at your highest. From firstform.com/Cam and Strick.
Let's
Use
go.
that. Illinois Recovery Center, Cam.
Swansea, Illinois, right there.
Go see our boys
Jakey.
Chrissy, Jakey, Eric.
Yep, they will take care of you. Get it done and
Yes,
get it
they
done
will.
now. Get it done now. Right before the summer, just get it done. You'll feel like
Feel like $1 million,
You'll
baby.
feel normal again, dude. Just feel normal again. You got to do it for yourself. Right there, Swansea, Illinois.
If you need it and you check yourself in, whatever, we'll send you a care package from First Form.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Damn right.
To help you stay healthy and feel good about yourself. And
I got a
whatever.
couple jerseys I picked up out of my alumni.
From the Jersey Generator.
I got. I just had all these extra Blues jerseys I have. So like, if there's a good story that you want to throw me about getting better,
You'll send them a jersey.
I'll send you a goddamn jersey signed.
I have some jerseys too.
I'll send you a jersey signed. So
will I.
will Andy. I mean, okay.
Slow,
And he's the
slow,
one
wait.
upper, man.
Don't you
Like,
say
you know the guy in the locker room is always a one upper in every story.
Oh,
Like,
God, I
Jesus
know
Christ.
some of those actually.
Are annoying.
You know who they are.
Yeah, you. I'm talking to you. One upper.
The one upper. No, but I will send them something.
Mm-hmm.
I'll send them one of your jerseys.
They're really gonna get help now. Lord.
Illinois Recovery Center, though.
You're right there in Swansea, Illinois, baby.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Bolt Sports, man. Get those dangles. Get the snipes. Get the E-cones, too, for quickness and agility. Get all of it. Check it out. They got a great Instagram account, too, that has videos and all of that. But you can check it out, boltsports.ca. So look at that today. True Float. Get those coolers. Get those heated chairs. Put that logo of yours right on the heated chair. How nice is that heated chair by the
Oh
fire?
my God. It's lovely.
Take
You
a
don't
nap.
ever get up?
Take a nap in that thing.
No shit. Love it, man.
The Jersey Generator. Get a custom jersey. Get it made for you and your business. Great quality, though, too.
I know. I want to wear this so bad.
Yeah,
I do. So funny. I love our logo.
it's great.
It's so
It's a
funny.
great jersey. Very light, though. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Breathable.
Yep.
Some of those jerseys weigh you down. You're not going to find that with the Jersey Generator.
Nah, no.
Never. With any of that. Blue Note Roofing, Cam.
Oh boy, David Novak's got some work to do.
314-920-5713. Give
He's
him a
gonna
call
hook you
today.
up. Take care of your house, man. Even with the floods.
Hat launch. Get that customized hat made today. America's #1 source for customized hats is
Hat launch. Do a damn good job right
Hat
there.
launch,
Yoink,
baby.
Let's go.
Cam at Bellman. You get no,
Swinging dicks,
but
man.
you do get sushi and flavored
I
water.
had so many people come up to me and say, swinging dicks.
All located where?
Troy, Missouri, baby. Swinging dicks, swinging out, swinging dicks. I mean, kids are everywhere fucking talking about swinging dicks. Jesus Christ.
Buick GMC on one side of the street, Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram on the other
Let's
side.
go, baby. Love
I
all
hope you enjoyed
guys.
this
Let's
edition. We
go.
thank Bucci,
Bucci.
man,
Bucci.
for joining us. Great conversations on the way. All year round, we do that here on the Cam and Strick podcast. And congratulations to Obi, man. Big shout out.
Love you guys.
895, baby.
Love all you guys. Shout out to Chaser. Shout out to Ovi. We love all you guys, man. We'll see you next week.
Chasse.
Let's go.
Tune into this. Turn on the cam, I in the fizz. Turn on the switch, listen to Strick, yeah. Know if we swinging, there's never a miss. Don't follow a script, yeah. Topics change quick. Looking for facts, looking for tips. One's an enforcer, one's a reporter. Together we Cam and Strick, yeah. One's an enforcer, one's a reporter, yeah. You tuning in to Cam and Strick.